Hey everyone, it's Jen with Timeline Tarot, and this is your new moon in Cancer reading. I will begin with Aries, work my way around the zodiac wheel here, ending at Pisces. Timestamps, as always, will be in the description box. I have set the intention of this reading to be for your sun, moon, rising, as well as your Venus placements. I do encourage you to watch all 4 placements. That way you can draw from each one of them the specific messages that are aligned with your current journey, and that'll help give you a little bit more of a personal reading. Speaking of personal versus collective, this is a collective general reading. It is not individualized nor personalized to you, and therefore messages may come through today that don't fully resonate, and if that happens, don't get upset. It just means that one message is intended for someone else of your sign or your sign's placement. And I almost forgot. And if you're not sure what your placements are, also in the description box is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. You just take a look at that site, and then you can come back here and click on the timestamp for the respective placement or placements that you wish to view. Again, I do recommend that you see all 4, and then you can craft your own personal reading from them. If you would like a personal reading, however, with yours truly, please visit my website, thetimelinetarot.com, for more information. With all of that said, let's begin. Hello, Aries. Let's see what your new moon and Cancer messages are. You have Dragon's Hoard, Protecting the Future, card number 12. You have last quarter moon in Aries, Work through your feelings. And then you have Moonset, Releasing. So maybe for some of you, you need to work through your feelings, perhaps to release some doubts, fears, or insecurities that you may have at this time, maybe regarding your future or the next steps that you want to take. Let's see where we're going with this message. Tell me more about this for Aries. We're clarifying protecting the future, work through your feelings, and releasing. For Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus, what do they need to know about this? I think some of you have a choice. I just noticed on this card that there are 2 keys dangling from this. I guess it's like a dragon, right? Because it's a dragon's hoard. So it's kind of like 2 keys dangling from the dragon. One has a heart on it, one does not. So maybe you need to choose between like protecting your future, like in respect to security. So maybe this is like a security versus love choice for some of you. And this could be, you know, in respect to career and finance, or love and romance, maybe even platonic connections, perhaps even choosing between where you want to live in the future. So let's see where we go with this message. Your first card out we have is the Magician, followed by the 4 of Wands, and then we have the 7 of Swords. Wow, maybe this is what you need to release. The Magician, further clarified by the Hangman. The 4 of Wands, further clarified by the 8 of Pentacles. And the 7 of Swords, clarified by the Empress. Wow. Bottom of the deck, we have 6 of Cups, Page of Swords, and King of Swords. That leaves the Page of Wands, the Death card, and the Sun card here. Wow, to the Ace of Wands. Okay, at the bottom of the deck. So I do feel that most of you have a choice. Remember, it's a collective general reading, so just take the messages how they resonate to you. So protecting the future, ironically, is clarified by the Hangman to the Magician. I almost get the feeling some of you don't know what you want, because the Magician would be an individual who they intuitively know that they have a direct line to source, and therefore they can manifest what it is that they desire. And manifest isn't just asking and hoping and praying for what it is that we want, but it's also recognizing, hey, I have everything in my arsenal, right? All 4 aces in order to create that, in order to co-create with the universe, whatever my desired outcome is here. But that Hangman energy tells me you're kind of paused, and you're kind of looking at this from all perspective, or from all angles, maybe trying to get a better perspective. So maybe for some of you, you thought you knew what you wanted, but now you're not quite sure. This feels like a very uncertain kind of feeling here. There's definitely a feeling here of uncertainty. That Page of Wands is staring at me at the bottom of the deck. That is, for me, the Minor Arcana card to the Fool card. So maybe it's like I need to discover more information so I can best determine what it is here that I want in my future. And therefore, I know what direction to take when it comes to actually manifesting and co-creating. So some of you here at this current time seem to be a bit paused and trying to figure out what exactly do I want in respect to my future. The next card you have here is the last quarter moon in Aries, and that says work through your feelings. You have the 8 of Pentacles and the 4 of Wands. Again, I get this feeling of stability versus love. So this would, for me as a reader, it would be representing your stability, your 4 of Wands and your 8 of Pentacles. You've worked hard at whatever this is, this career path, maybe the industry that you're in, the degree that you just obtained from schooling or additional schooling. Very well could be a relationship, could be a housing situation with that 4 of Wands energy there. But I know that you've invested a lot into it. and you have really worked hard to create this and to obtain it. So I kind of feel like you have some mixed feelings when it comes to this. Maybe this is more or less the person, place, or thing in your life that you've invested a lot of yourself into, and it does offer you some sense of structure and security, but maybe what you're lacking in it is love. Like maybe this is the job. I've been in this industry for 20 plus years. I like what I do, but I no longer love what I do. But it does offer me a sense of stability, right? It's a regular paycheck. For some of you, this could be a long-term commitment. I don't have any marriage cards on the table, but maybe for some of you it is. And this could be, I've been in this marriage a long time. I've put a lot of effort into this marriage, or I've spent a lot of years, right? Pentacles could be years, 8+ years here. And while it does offer me structure and stability, maybe I no longer have the emotional fulfillment within it, right? Because we don't have any cups here. And again, you can apply that same message if this is in respect to like a friend group, maybe a community group you volunteer in, definitely housing situation, family. There's just, I feel like this is identifying what it is that offers you structure and stability. And here we have the releasing card, and this is clarified by the Seven of Swords and the Empress. I'm getting the feeling here that this is actually sabotaging you, really nurturing yourself and moving towards the direction that you really want to take. There's something here about, in order for you to move away from the structure and stability and move towards this other, whatever entity, energy, whatever this is. The feeling here is almost like, damned if I do and damned if I don't. Because if I move towards this, it's a gamble, right? This is Page of Swords. This is entry level. So if I leave this job where I've been at for a long time, I've invested all of my time here, and I move towards this other job, which is a Six of Cups job. So it is emotionally fulfilling, or at least I believe it to be. King of Swords, I see it very clearly that that's the direction I want to take, but I have to start at the ground up. So maybe I have to start in an entry-level position, or if this is like in regards to starting your own business, I have to start from the ground up. I'm not guaranteed the same paycheck maybe that I was guaranteed here, or it would take me longer to get to that. Same thing if it's a housing situation, or maybe even leaving a connection that you've been in a long time to either go off and be single or to go off and be with another individual. The overwhelming feeling here is this is sort of identifying the energy that's opposite to this one. This is what I know. This is what I don't know, but I know that I love this, or I would love this. And so I kind of feel that right now you are stuck. And some of you could be feeling like, damned if I do and damned if I don't. I'm sabotaging myself if I stay in this, because then I risk never truly knowing what this is. But if I move towards this and it doesn't pan out, then I just gave up this security. So there's something here about not wanting to sabotage yourself, but not knowing which direction that means for you. Let's see if we can get you some advice here. Because with that Page of Wands, the Death card, and the Sun card, and then that Ace of Wands, yeah, something here needs to be, and then we have Seven of Cups here, which for me is like the dream. So I feel like that's like the dream, or that's like the goal, or that's the fairy tale. But in order for you to move in that direction, you would have to leave something or someone behind. And I kind of feel that's the like explorative phase. And I used to say early on in my readings that the Page of Wands is sort of like the Lewis and Clark adventure card for me. And it is. It's before I take the leap of faith, I need to go out there and discover more information. So I kind of feel like that's what you're doing right now. You're trying to discover more information in respect to which option here you should end, so you can move towards happiness. And I feel like that's sort of what's eluding you here, is the happiness. You don't really know which one will end up being 10 of Cups or 10 of Pentacles. But you are on the precipice of a new beginning between that Page of Wands and the Ace of Wands. I just kind of think what's stuck in the middle here is not knowing which direction to take, not knowing which one to end here, to finalize. But yeah, I kind of feel like that's the dream, that's the fantasy, like being single, or being, going solo, one relationship to another, one housing situation to another, leaving this job for that job. Ace of Wands, Page of Wands could be you've been contemplating opening up your own business, but again, doing that is scary. Not guaranteed that first check, on a weekly basis, like maybe you currently receive at this job, because again, it's sort of like starting from scratch. So bottom of the deck, we have King of Cups. So in terms of advice, this would be to listen to your heart. What really moves you emotionally? Does this need to be a logical decision in that King of Swords energy? It does. And I think you're already there. I think logically you're already there. You already know that this is what you want. You're just afraid to move towards it. And I think in that King of Cups energy, you already know whatever this option is, you would love it. Because we got the Six of Cups, we've got the King of Cups, holds a cup, that's Seven of Cups. We saw the Seven of Cups, and I had said that's sort of like the daydream kind of fantasy. Wish that I could do that, wish I could be that, wish I could live that way. So So in terms of advice, it's see this logically and clearly, which you already are, and also open up your heart. I kind of feel like your heart needs to play a role here in the decision making. Let's get 3 cards of advice here for Aries. One more shuffle. Thank you. So advice, we have 3 of Wands, so that is moving forward. So the advice here right off the bat is you can no longer sit in this place of complacency, like not moving in either direction. I mean, you could. At the end of the day, you have the divine gift of free will. But typically what I have found in doing readings for the collective and personal, and then even my own life experience, sometimes what we want to move towards doesn't wait for us indefinitely, right? If this is, let's say, a decision between 2 jobs, current job and the new job offer, won't keep that job available for you indefinitely. At some point, they need to fill it. Same thing if it's a housing situation. Same thing if this is choosing between 2 love partners. Same thing. This person might decide they don't want to wait for you. So I kind of feel like the advice here right off the bat with that 3 of Wands is a decision needs to be made so you can move forward in a particular direction. You then have 2 of Cups. So moving towards a partnership, whether it's professional, whether it is platonic, whether it is romantic, that is balanced, that your soul calls to, right? When we meet an individual in terms of romantic love, that is the 2 of Cups, that is someone that we instantly feel a connection with. That is a soulmate, soul bond connection. So again, it's like move forward in a manner that your heart is calling for you to move towards. And then you have the 4 of Swords. So in respect to this, it would be to take your time, maybe over the course of the next 4 weeks, because for me, swords are weeks. So maybe over the course of the next 4 weeks, you really need to put a lot of time into thinking about this, right? Because swords are not just the words that we communicate to others. They're also the words we communicate to ourselves. And so maybe over the course of the next 4 weeks, you really need to decide, where does my heart lie? What direction do I really want to go in? And even though you might not immediately move in that direction, maybe just the decision needs to be made. Bottom of the deck, we have 9 of Pentacles, Page of Wands, and Judgment. Truth be told, I think that most of you will make the decision. Again, you're probably not all doing it in the next 4 weeks. But the decision here, this judgment, listening to the call, listening to your inner calling here, is to figure out a way, right? That Lewis and Clark card of the Discovery, Page of Wands. The judgment call here is, I want to move towards the new. And I need to discover a way how I can become independent and autonomous of this. So finding another job, finding another living situation, getting a divorce. Like this is sort of like the, I hate to say plotting and planning stage, but basically the plotting and planning stage on how to exit one to move towards the other. 4 of Cups, Knight of Wands, and the 6 of Swords. Yeah, this is more moving away energy. I think at the end of the day, what will really play a significant factor here for you is determining that the current situation leaves you emotionally unfulfilled. And I said that from the beginning. We had no cups here representing whatever this is to you. And again, in that 4 of Cups energy, the feeling here is, if I stay here, while it might be structured and it might offer me some sense of stability, I will continually be emotionally unfulfilled. And I think for a lot of you, at the end of the day, your heart will rule over in respect to making this decision. But again, at the end of the day, you do have the divine gift of free will. But that's what I have for you, Aries. It looks like a pretty difficult decision because you've been stuck in this hangman magician energy here for a while. You're definitely concerned about your future. And I think you have a lot of fears and doubts and anxieties about moving towards the new. But that releasing card at the end, I think, is so important, because I almost kind of feel like you're sabotaging your future by not releasing the past or not releasing the current. But that's just the overall energy vibe that I'm picking up here. Remember, at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you. That's what I have for you, my dear. That is your new moon and Cancer message. If you like that message, it resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Taurus. Let's see what your new moon and Cancer messages are. Your first card, Lay of the Land, Ancestral Wisdom, card number 34. You then have last quarter moon in Leo, Lighten Up. And your last card here is Moon Cycles, Patience. I feel like your ancestors are trying to talk to you in respect to a particular situation, environment, or connection in your life. Maybe some of you want to practice meditation a little bit more. I don't know why, but the individual here on the hill is sort of giving me the feeling of the Hermit. And a lot of the decks that I have, the Hermit is seen either on a mountainside or mountaintop doing some reflection. So there could be something here about, and I don't want to say like isolating yourself, but creating space and time for yourself, like being patient with yourself while you make this decision. And I do think that opening yourself up to source or divine, God, whatever you call that, your ancestors, your spirit guides, your ancestors. I kind of feel like the answers you need would come easier to you. All right, tell me more about this here for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. I just saw the Six of Pentacles. What else do they need to know about this? One more shuffle here. Thank you. I also realized a triangle here that is depicted on this card. We'll see what that's all about. Okay, ancestral wisdom. There you are, my darling, the Hierophant. That also is a spiritual connection. So it's kind of right on par with that message I was getting about connecting to your higher self or connecting to your spirit guides at this time. You then have the Eight of Wands, and I had said that communication would be coming in. So there you go. There's your Eight of Wands, your communication. Patience is clarified by the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles really is a card of patience. It's an individual who is working on a project. They understand that they may have to start as an apprentice, but their overall mission or goal here is to basically work 8 days a week, even though they're only 7 days in a week, in order to become a master of this craft. For some of you, this could be your own personal development and opening yourself up more spiritually even. Yeah, this could be in respect to career and finance, but I'm kind of feeling here for some of you, this is more about self-mastery, like leveling up in some way. Let's keep going. With that Hierophant card, we have the Ten of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, we have High Priestess. There we go. That's your spiritual communication. I cannot believe how that came out. And the Eight of Pentacles, we have the Moon. Bottom of the deck, we have Ten of Swords, we have Strength, and we have Eight of Swords. That leaves the Six of Wands, the Chariot, and the Four of Swords to the Five of Swords here at the bottom of the deck, and the Eight of Cups. Very similar message to Aries, although slightly different. I feel with this ancestral wisdom and the lay of the land, I can interpret this several different ways for you, Taurus. The feeling that I get here is that there's and this is in regards to a specific aspect of your life. So you take it how it resonates to you, because obviously it's a collective general reading. So whether it's career and finance or within your community or friend group, family, could be spouse, right? Or just a love partner with that Hierophant energy there. I feel whatever this is for you, it is either financially abundant or you have invested a lot of yourself into it. So maybe it's a job you've been at a long time. You now have this fabulous career title and you're making a lot of money. But I almost feel like it's not fulfilling enough for you. For others of you, you are in a long-term connection, friend, family member, or lover. It's offered you a tremendous amount of growth in your life. For some of you, that could even be financial growth or financial abundance. But it's almost like it's too serious or it's too restrictive. I feel like you're in something that is too restrictive. Let me clarify this for you. Situation, environment, or connection. I kind of feel like you want to become free of this. See the Eight of Swords card. This person is like, they're trapped. I feel like you're trapped in something. It's almost like I want to get out of this, but I can't get out. Yeah, Two of Swords. Feeling trapped, not knowing the next step. The Eight of Swords, the individual is blindfolded. The Two of Swords, the individual is blindfolded. I feel like this offers you structure and stability, but I feel like it's become very restrictive. It's almost like getting harder and harder to breathe in whatever this is. And you'd like to move forward from it, but you don't know how. I don't think it's that I think you have to move on from this. I think that the issue you're having here is I don't know how. I can't see the next step. The moon talks about I can't see the next step. Think about when the moon is out at night. You can't really see too far off into the distance. Daylight, totally different when the sun is out. And because we can't see too far out, we get doubts, fears, and anxieties. And that's sort of what that Eight of Swords is. That's like lower octave of the devil for me. It's all like the negative what ifs. So I feel like that this is over. Ten of Swords. Oh, I'm going to take that cat toy spontaneously going off all on its own as a sign that I'm on point. Whatever this is, it's over. But with that Strength card, I feel like you've been holding yourself back from officially walking away from it because you don't know the next step. You can't see the next step. What is this for Taurus? It could be a job. It could be a career path. Like I said, it could actually be, you know, your religious upbringing. I could be speaking to a Taurus where you grew up with a set of beliefs. I don't know. Maybe you're a devout Catholic and suddenly you're becoming more spiritual. Or maybe you're beginning to learn about another religion that's completely contrary to the one you grew up with. And it could be like, well, this has offered me structure and stability in terms of a connection to God, but maybe you're starting to feel more spiritual. Or maybe you want to move in another direction. But, you know, maybe you don't know how your family would take it. Could be something like that, or it could be the job that now you want to change. And again, it's like, well, then what's the next job? This is what I've been doing my whole life. What would I do now? I just kind of feel like this has come to an end for you, but you're still existing in it because you're afraid to leave it behind. What is this for Taurus? What is this Ten of Pentacles to the Hierophant? One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have the Lovers. We have the Queen of Pentacles. And we have the Death card. Bottom of the deck, we have the World. So whatever this is for you, I feel like internal to you, you already know it's over. The Queen of Pentacles here is very solemn looking at the pentacle. So I feel like whatever this was, you invested a lot of time, energy, love, maybe even money into it. You started off with one pentacle in whatever this was, and it grew to the 10. Or at some point had the potential to grow to the 10, even if it never quite made it. I feel like you are wholly invested in whatever this is. But that ancestral wisdom card, the lay of the land, when we know the lay of the land, that means there's nothing else to learn there, is the feeling that I get here. So if your ancestors could say anything to you, I think what they were trying to tell you, Taurus, is that this situation, environment, or connection has no more growth potential to it. You've maxed out the growth potential, the Ten of Pentacles. Whether it actually got to the Ten of Pentacles or not is, you know, irrelevant to the reading. This would be your higher self or your ancestors telling you, you know the lay of the land. You've seen everything you had to see here. You've learned everything you had to learn. You've gleaned everything you had to glean from the situation, environment, or connection. I think you intuitively know this. You might be afraid to leave it because, again, you don't know what the next step is. But I feel like internal to you, you've already made the call here, and that Lover's card being the ultimate choice card. I feel like, and it's a very solemn decision here that you've made internally, but I think that's the overall feeling here, is that this is over. Ten of Swords, World, the Death card. However far this has grown, there's no more growth beyond it. Okay. So I feel like your secondary message here, Taurus, is a need here for you to open up to, again, ancestors, spirit guides, your loved ones who have crossed over. There's something here that if you can connect to that divine source, and I have no doubt that you're capable of doing that, then I feel like the downloads come in. The information you need, whether that's confidence, Leo could talk about confidence. That's very much like King of Wands kind of energy, inspired action, or yeah, Knight of Wands energy, inspired action. King of Wands taking a leadership role to move towards something. Queen of Wands having the fire to move towards it. So I kind of feel, you know that this is over. You're kind of stuck in the next step, but if you can open yourself up spiritually, I feel like the communication comes in. It's almost like you wake up one day and you're like, I got it. Now I know my next step. That's the feeling that I get here. And maybe for some of you, you need to lighten up. I'm just saying that's what's on the card, because maybe you have, I'm probably speaking to one of you, so don't be offended. But someone watching might have a very closed mindset when it comes to connecting to the quote unquote divine. And if you are, you're probably not watching this reading, but that's the overall feeling here. It's like maybe you're just very rooted in traditional religion. Nothing wrong with that. But maybe that prevents you from actually like connecting to your intuition because you don't really believe that much in spirituality. And I'm not saying you have to leave one for the other or one is better than the other. But again, that lightening up is like lighten up and like open yourself up to this connection. I feel like brings in the information you seek to move forward. Tell me more about this here for Taurus. One more shuffle. Thank you. What do we have? We have the Six of Cups. Again, ancestors or people from the past, people from your family line. I feel like would be talking to you. The Star card to help you heal. Yep, Knight of Swords. So you can take action to move away. And that's also communication. Bottom of the deck, Page of Wands. I feel like that's what you're missing here. You know that this is over, but you're missing direction, no fault of your own, on how to move on from it. And if you can lighten up, or really the card should say open yourself up, but I feel like if you can open yourself up to receive these spiritual downloads, possibly from a loved one or loved ones who have passed, right? Your familial connections that have passed or ancestral connections that have passed, I feel like that is the healing aspect to this is that you will receive this communication that puts you on the path then to move forward. Oh yeah, in a very balanced way. Ace of Swords, that's the truth. Eight of Cups, moving on. So for those of you who need that guidance, I would say to tap into it and to ask for it, to call it in. And the new moon in Cancer is actually a wonderful time, and you just happen to get the moon card here, about calling in that information, calling in that guidance. You have patience, clarified by the Eight of Pentacles and the moon card. I feel like the answers you need are coming. If I could have pulled another Moonology card for you, I bet you the one that would have came out was the answers you need are coming, because that's the feeling that I get here. Like the moment you open yourself up, the answers you need are coming. And then you'll know where to apply your pentacle energy, or I should say how to apply in order to overcome these doubts, fears, and anxieties so you can move forward or move on from this. Tell me more about this here for Taurus. Then we'll get you 3 cards of advice. One more shuffle. Thank you. Yep, 7 of Pentacles. The Knight of Wands, I kind of called it there with that Leo card, and the 5 of Pentacles, bottom of the deck, King of Swords. So King of Swords would be an individual who can think very clearly, very decisively. Once you receive this communication, this insight, this could come in the way of dreams, epiphanies, seeing certain signs and synchronicities and putting them together and going, oh, that's what that means. Seeing repetitive numbers and looking up that angel number, simple internet search, and that will, you know, might be a message to guide you in a certain direction. So I feel like have patience with yourself. You know that this is done and over with. You're not quite sure how to move on. If you can open yourself up to receiving those downloads in whatever form they come in, then I feel like you'll know exactly the inspired action to take on how to leave this behind. 5 of Pentacles would be abandoning that person, place, or thing. And at that point, yep, you see it very clearly. King of Swords holds the Ace of Swords, and that's what you have. I also think that this will help you exit whatever this is in a very balanced way. 2 of Pentacles energy there, so not in a very erratic way at all. So this would be like knowing the job is no longer for you and saying, I know that I need to leave. Again, World card, King of Swords, yeah. I know I need to leave this job, but I don't know where I should apply next. Opening yourself up, you've received the downloads. It could be like one day you're washing the dishes and you're like, oh my God, that's what I could do. Why didn't I think of that? You just thought of it. It was your ancestors or your spirit guides coming in and saying, yeah, apply for ABC Corporation. Something like that comes in and you're like, okay, now I know the next step so I can leave this behind. Because I don't feel like I'm speaking to a Taurus that would abruptly leave this. You know, like leave a housing situation and then like be homeless, leave the job, not have the next paycheck. Very few Taurians I know make abrupt, drastic changes. You usually like to plan and be very thorough. And it's why I always say that you're the backbone of the zodiac for that reason, is because you're not an erratic energy by any stretch of the imagination. So if you're stumbling here, Taurus, and this message is resonating for you, you know you need to close this out and you don't know how, I would definitely call in that help in that new moon in Cancer energy. Let's get 3 cards of advice, my dear, and then we will wrap up your reading. Bottom of the deck, King of Cups. King of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. 3 cards of advice here. One more shuffle. Here, please, and thank you. I cannot believe the cards that fell out. We got 4. I wanted 3, but that's okay, Taurus. The Chariot, 2 of Swords, 3 of Pentacles, and the Sun. I kind of like this for you. I think if you move forward with this, even though you won't be able to fully see all of the next steps, I think you know that once you receive these downloads, you know the direction to take. You'll start pouring pentacle energy in that direction. And that direction, Taurus, leads you to ultimate happiness. That is the best card in tarot. 10 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles. Leaving a situation that has become burdensome, that you've outgrown it. I don't think it's outgrown you, Taurus. I think you've outgrown it. I think you're meant to be in something bigger and better and healthier and more loving and maybe even more financially abundant. So as soon as you open yourself up, and remember, we have that moon card, and then we have the Chariot here, which is Cancer season. So if you can open yourself up a little bit more spiritually, ask for help, right? Tell me my next path forward or the next step to take, or give me the idea I need, or maybe even the courage to move in that direction. If you can ask for that in the new moon in Cancer, I feel over the course of the next 4 weeks, that's exactly what you do. And you'll begin laying the groundwork to move in another direction. And I kind of think unbeknownst to you, and there we go, 4 weeks. So yeah. And we just started Cancer season. So over the course of the next 4 weeks, I believe you begin laying the groundwork to move in a new direction. And like I was saying, unbeknownst to you, that new direction is happier and more abundant than what it is that you're leaving behind. That is what I have for you, Taurus. That is your new moon in Cancer reading. If you like that message and it resonated with you, or you want to claim all or part of it, or maybe just found it to be helpful or even hopeful, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Gemini Twin Gang. Let's see what our new moon in Cancer messages are. We have Lost in Space, Needing Direction, card number 36. That is followed by new moon in Libra. Know that you are loved. Sort of giving me like justice vibe, justice card vibe energy there. And then you have the moon's moment, synchronicity. So even though you feel right now, I'm lost, I need direction, I don't know what to do, I feel like actually as you're right on time with the clock here. Like you are, where you're at is where you're meant to be, even if you feel lost. Or if you feel alone, it's like, know that you are loved by the divine. You're not alone. You feel like you're alone. You're not alone. You are right on time with your life's journey, even if it feels difficult, even if you can't see the next step. Kind of Two of Swords energy here for you, even though I can't see the next step. Tell me more about this for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. I want to make sure that mic is on. It is. Okay. Tell me more about this here for Gemini. You know, and card 36, if we add those numbers, we get to 9. And so I feel like it's almost over, whatever this is, the feeling confused, feeling lost, needing direction. 9s in Tower, we're just on the precipice of change, right? We get to 10 and then we're at the end. So I feel like you're close to whatever this difficult moment or experience has been for you. Tell me more about this here for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. One more shuffle. Thank you. Lost in space, needing direction is being clarified by the 10 of Cups. I just said 10 signify the ending. So I think you have an ending coming. 5 of Cups. There's that ending. And the synchronicity, Knight of Swords. Things will begin to move a lot quicker. Maybe you've been stuck or this has been stagnant for you for quite some time. Let's keep going with the message. Yep, 10 of Cups, 3 of Swords, 5 of Cups, the World. There's your ending. Knight of Swords and the 9 of Swords. And 9 plus the sword that the Knight is holding is 10. So we've got the World card. We have 10, 10. Bottom of the deck, we have Death. So something is ending here. 3 of Wands. And then we have the, look at that, 10 of Swords, 10 of Pentacles. You now have all 4 10s on the table. So there is something very significant coming to an end here in the Gemini collective. Could be a mindset, could be a pattern, could be a situation, an environment, a connection, could even be a dream. Maybe for some of you, you had the ideal job in mind and that was part of your 10 of Cups. Could be a friendship, could be a living situation, could be a connection with a family member or within the construct of the family in general. For others of you, this could be a love partner, someone you're married to, or someone maybe you wanted long-term commitment with. I kind of feel like you're feeling lost in space. For some of you, this has come to an end and now you're feeling lost. However that 10 of Cups resonates for you, it has come to an end and it is very heartbreaking, very challenging for you. For others of you, you're lost and needing direction because you don't know if you should give up on this. So I'm going to kind of read this 2 different ways. For you, Gemini, for some of you, this has come to an end and there's a lot of remorse here and regret and grief and sadness over the ending of whatever energy or entity that has been for you, whatever situation, environment, or connection. But the synchronicity card is saying to kind of like get out of your head because things are now about to move forward after this ending. 3 of Wands, you'll be able to move forward from this ending. For others of you, you're not quite sure if you want to walk away from this. You're needing direction because you know that leaving it behind is going to hurt like hell. 5 of Cups energy. And so that could be why you're really up in your head with that 9 of Swords, because you don't know if you should take the inspired action of the Knight of Swords to actually move away from this. So there's heavy contemplation here for the Gemini collective. Either something recently came to an end, and for others of you, you're contemplating ending something. I'm going to lean a little bit more towards category 2. So if I had to put a percentage, I feel like 70% of you are in category 2. You're contemplating ending something pretty monumental in your life because at some point it either brought you a lot of emotional fulfillment or it had the great potential to. And yeah, I feel like 70% of you are in that category and 30% of you, it's ended already, but you're feeling lost since the ending. So again, I'm going to try to read this both ways for you, Gemini. Let's clarify that 3 of Swords to the 10 of Cups. For Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. What is that 3 of Swords to the 10 of Cups? Bottom of that, Queen of Pentacles, Tower. Wow, 4 of Wands. So for some of you, this could be a mother figure, like ending a connection. And it doesn't have to be mother figure just because it says Queen. It could be just a parental figure for some of you. For some of you, this could be leaving home, like literally uprooting and moving across the world, right, to another part of the world or moving far away from home. So that could be a lot of, I don't know what to do. Should I do that? For others of you, this could be leaving a job that has made you very financially abundant, but maybe it's no longer emotionally pleasing to you. And although it offers your life some sense of structure or stability in the Four of Wands, that Three of Swords to the Ten of Cups is just kind of like, I'm just no longer happy here. And for some of you, it could be a marriage or a long-term partnership. Tell me a little bit more here about this Three of Swords to the Ten of Cups. So like I said, some of you ended this and others of you are contemplating ending this. Tell me more about this here for Gemini. One more shuffle. Thank you. This is clarified by the Seven of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and the Chariot. So there's this feeling here in the Gemini collective. For those of you where this has already ended, there's a lot of confusion here in that Seven of Cups energy. There's a lot of doubting yourself. Did I do the right thing? I need direction. I feel so lost. I'm not sure if I should have left that job or moved away from my family or ended that connection with that friend, family member, or lover. And so I'm very confused. Maybe I did it too quickly. Knight of Wands to the Chariot, right? Maybe I made an abrupt decision, and this could be like second guessing yourself now after the fact. For others of you, you no longer want to be stuck in whatever this is. You want to take a direction. Either I'm going to stay in it and, go full throttle and try to rehabilitate it in some way, I'm hearing, or reconcile the differences here, or I just need to move on from it completely as fast as I can. Whatever this is, it's making you anxious. You no longer want to sit in something that at one point gave you the Ten of Cups, added to your Ten of Cups, or had the potential to be the Ten of Cups, because you don't want to sit in the heartbreak anymore. So some of you want to make a decision. Do I stay in it and fight for this, or do I just completely abandon it? But I'm very confused. Seven of Cup energy. So that's the feeling that I have there for you. Let's see this World to the Five of Cups. For those of you where you closed it out, I think there's, again, that feeling of remorse and regret. I don't know if I did the right thing. Maybe I left too soon. Maybe I made the decision too hasty. Maybe I had a terrible argument with this person and I abruptly cut them off. And now I'm second guessing whether or not I should have done that. Maybe it wasn't the balanced thing to do, right? New moon in Libra, Libra being the Justice card, being all about balance, being fair and balanced. Maybe I didn't do the right thing here. For some of you, could be what you're thinking. For others of you, if you're contemplating walking away from this, the feeling here is this is going to hurt like hell. I don't want to be the one to do it. I don't want to be the one to do it. The Magician, there you are. Yeah, for those of you where you're the ones contemplating this, you're like, I don't want to be the one to do it, because it's going to hurt. Okay, tell me more about this here for Gemini. World card to the Five of Cups. One more shuffle here, please and thank you. First card out, we have the Star. We have the Five of Swords. And we have the King of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, we have the Fool. Wow, World to the Fool card. Such a small little spread here. I get the feeling, remember we saw the Queen of Pentacles, now we're seeing the King of Pentacles. I mean, maybe for some of you, this is a marriage and it's become too emotionally challenging. Maybe for some of you, you already walked away from this marriage. For others of you, you're contemplating walking away from the marriage. And again, there's this feeling of indecision here. Let's say we are speaking of marriage. Do I heal the marriage? Do I attempt to heal it? Star card energy. Do I fight for it? Five of Swords. Do I fight to stay in this marriage? Do I fight to keep my parents in my life? If it's Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles could be parents or family members. Could be bosses. Do I fight to keep this job? Do I try this again? Is the feeling here. So yeah, for some of you, there, if you've left this person, place, or thing behind, there's a feeling here of maybe I should have tried harder with the Five of Swords. Maybe I should have fought harder. Maybe I shouldn't have given up so easily. This offered me structure and stability, or had the potential to. There's a lot of self-doubt here. And for others of you where you're contemplating leaving it, because that message would be for those of you where you did already. For those of you contemplating leaving it, it's like, I don't know if I should leave this. Maybe I should try to heal it. Maybe I should try to fight for it. Maybe I should approach this in a more grounded way. King of Pentacle energy, whether you're masculine or feminine. Yeah, you're really struggling here. Two of Swords, Two of Swords, Three of Cups, and the Fool card. You're struggling. Do I try to reconcile this and save this, or do I just walk away from it completely and have a new beginning elsewhere? This is a big struggle here for the Gemini collective, regardless of who or what that entity is. And even for those of you where you've walked away from it already, there's still this regret of maybe I should try to get the job back, right? Or maybe I should try to reconnect with this person again. But the Divine's trying to tell you all of this is happening for a reason. This wasn't a mistake. If you left it, it wasn't a mistake. If you're contemplating going back to it, and that's what you choose to do because you have the divine gift of free will, it's not a mistake. The fact that you're even considering leaving it is not a mistake. This is all happening I can. I hate saying it. In divine timing. So 9 of Swords to that Knight of Swords. What is that all about? We have the King of Cups just showed itself. Tell me more about this here for Gemini. I think you need some clarity, and I feel like clarity is coming, perhaps in that new moon in Cancer. I think you're receiving your clarity. I think we go from the 9 of Swords. I say we because, you know, I'm just speaking like you, plus I am a sun card carrying Gemini. Maybe the message here is to like hang in because the answers you seek are coming. Maybe we go from the 9 of Swords to having clarity, right? Because the Knight is holding the Ace of Swords. So maybe that's what the answer is here. Tell me more about this. One more shuffle. Thank you. We have the 6 of Pentacles. We have the moon. There's that new moon in Cancer. So I kind of feel like you're getting a little bit of a gifty. That 6 of Pentacles could be a gift. I feel like we are getting a gifty in the energy of the new moon in Cancer. Yep, Knight of Cups, about the direction that we want to move in. Ace of Wands, that new direction. Queen of Cups here and the Strength card. So maybe until you receive that inspired feeling, maybe don't do anything yet. I'm recording this on the 22nd. I'll release it on the 23rd. So that will only leave you about 2 days shy from the time this video is released until we're like officially in the new moon energy. Although I always feel like it creeps up 2 or 3 days before. But regardless, maybe just hang tight for the first half of the week. Don't do anything one direction, you know, in one direction or another. Whether this is, I left this behind, but now I'm contemplating reconciling with it or going back to it, or I'm thinking about leaving it. Maybe like don't do anything. Don't reconcile, don't leave it, you know what I mean? Just kind of coast. I don't know, I just heard that. Just kind of coast in this because I feel like the answers you need are coming. And then in that Knight of Cup energy, you'll know the direction to go in. Let's get 3 cards of advice and then we'll close out your reading. And I always say that 10 of Swords is not a bad card for a Gemini because this is as bad as it's going to get. Whatever this is, it's impossible to get worse than the 10 of Swords. So the 10 of Swords for me is always like it's a new dawn, it's a new day, the worst is over. So maybe that's the feeling here, like this can't get any worse. So just wait for a little bit of clarity to come through in that new moon in Cancer. Then you'll know whether to end this once and for all or try to go back and reconcile it, right? Because that card could also be rebirth. Same thing for those of you who haven't left yet. I think that the answers you need are coming, and then you'll know whether or not to close this out for good and move forward, or to try to fix it or like fight for it, try to heal it type of thing. Let's get 3 cards of advice here for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. One more shuffle here. I'm just curious to know why the 10 of Pentacles is there. It seems so out of place energetically. I'm going to clarify that separately for you, Gemini. Let me do that now. It seems so out of place. I feel like that's the official ending to the situation, whether you stay in it or not, or you go back to it. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles. Why is the 10 of Pentacles here? Why is the 10 of Pentacles here? One more shuffle. Thank you. I just noticed a turtle here in the grass. So maybe your answer here is slow and steady. The answers you need are coming. Yeah, don't make any rush or rash decisions. 4 of Cups. The Lovers. Yep, don't make the decision yet. There you go, Knight of Pentacles, because the answers you need are coming. Then you can make the judgment call. So the 4 of Cups here is like, don't make a decision to move in one direction or another. Remember I said coast, just sit. Just sit. And then you have the Lovers, because then I feel like once you sit and you relax and you kind of let this new moon energy come in, then you'll receive the information you need in order to make the choice. Lovers being the ultimate choice card. So Knight of Pentacles for me just says to have some patience. I also usually see the Knight of Pentacles as Virgo energy. I don't recall astrologically the placement for that card, if that actually is Virgo. But for me, Virgo energy is, number one, they're ruled by Mercury like we are, but they're a little bit different. We could be a little erratic. No offense. We could be a little erratic in our thinking because we could get lost in the details. And that's why 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords, 10 of Swords are all attributed to Gemini. But Virgo's a little bit different. Virgo is thinking about the details, but in a more practical way, creating systems. So I kind of feel like don't do anything just yet. The answers you need are coming. Then you can make a choice, and then you will be able to create a real decisive plan on how you can move forward. Either, like I said, going back to this, moving away from it, how to move away from it. I would just say for the first half of this week to like not make any decisions. And then, yeah, look, Judgment, Page of Cups, 4 of Swords, Ace of Cups. So then you'll be able to receive the message you need or the information you need to make the proper judgment call in order to move forward. I'm glad I clarified that. Because that kind of looked like, you know, like I feel like this is a storm. I feel like this has been a storm for you. The Ten of Cups for me was giving me like the feeling of the rainbow, like the pot, you know, like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I kind of feel like that's why that was like, oh, it's a very different energy. It's like once we get through all this and then we receive the answer we need, then we get through the storm. And at the end of that storm is this beautiful rainbow, kind of Ten of Cup energy, right? That's the pot. Oh, look at that. The first 10 and the last 10. That's the pot at the end of this rainbow. So yeah, I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't do anything yet. I wouldn't do anything just yet. Let me get 3 cards of advice here. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Advice, justice. Again, Libra energy. I feel like justice is coming. Queen of Cups and the 7 of Swords. And I just had said about like creating this strategic plan. And then you'll see things clearly. All right. So I feel like balance is coming in this situation, environment, connection, whatever storm this has been for you. I feel like you will have balance soon. Queen of Cups. Over the course of the next month, once you receive this intuitive hit or these messages or this aha epiphany moment, so surprised we didn't see the tower, but I kind of feel like then you know exactly what to do. So if you're feeling lost, I wouldn't right now. Again, I feel like this is all happening in divine timing. The answers you need are coming over the course of next month. You'll be able to create a strategic plan to move in whatever direction it is that you're called to move in. It'll be different for all of you. Going back, not going back, trying to, heal this, whatever this is, moving on from it. But you'll be able to see things very clearly. Queen of Swords, 6 of Swords, 8 of Pentacles. You'll be able to see things very clearly. You'll know the direction that you need to move in and where and how you should invest your pentacle energy, your time, your love, your money. So if you're feeling lost right now, I kind of think you're supposed to. I think this is almost like a test. I know we hate hearing tarot readers say that, but I feel like this is almost like a test of patience right now for the Gemini collective. I know being of a mercurial mind, we want to like think everything through and come up with the answer and move on it. But this is almost like testing our patience because there's nothing to do. The answers we need are coming. So don't do anything just yet. That's what I have for you, Gemini. That is your message for the new moon in Cancer reading. If it made any sense to you, if you found it to be helpful, hopeful, or resonated with you in some way, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Cancer. Let's see what your new moon in Cancer messages are. If you're celebrating your birthday this week, I'd like to wish you a very happy birthday. All right, let's see what your message is for your moon, your new moon. You have Dream Thief, Refusal of the Call. Oh, card number 13. That's followed by Full Moon in Aries, Cool Your Emotions. And then you have Reach for the Moon, Go for It. I feel like you're robbing yourself of a dream here. Please don't get mad at me and click off. There's a dream that you have, whether it's in respect to career and finance, love and romance, platonic connections, living situation, but you're not listening to your intuition to move in this direction. This is card 13, reduces to 4, right? If we add the 1 plus 3. So there's something here in your life that you're being called to do, or a particular direction to move in, that would bring a lot more structure and stability. It also would be like, literally like you would be walking into a portal, right? Like a whole new life. That's like, I'm getting the feeling here like 4 of Wands. So like walking through the 1111 portal in a new direction, but you're refusing to do it. And this dream has the possibility now of not coming true because you're refusing the call from within to move towards it. We have Full Moon in Aries, Cool Your Emotions. Some of you could be angry. You're possibly blaming someone else for why you can't achieve this dream just yet. For others of you, you could be angry at yourself in the days to come that you haven't moved on this. I also want to say this could be a little future out, saying that if you don't move towards this, like if you don't go for it, that you might be angry with yourself in the future, that you robbed yourself of this dream, that you refuse to listen to the voice within. What is this here for Cancer? Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Dream Thief, Refusal of the Call, Full Moon in Aries, Cool Your Emotions, and Reach for the Moon. Go for it. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Wow, I said 4 of Wands. That was the first card out, 4 of Wands. Yeah, this would literally change your life. Like you would be moving you would be jumping timelines here, entering a portal, moving in a new direction. Definitely jumping timelines. And, you know, when I say jumping timelines, what I mean by that is any monumental decision we make in our life. I don't mean whether to have Chinese or Italian food for dinner tonight, but leaving home at 18, like, you know, so many people do, or going to college or going to trade school. These are big decisions. Getting married, not getting married, having children, not having children, getting a divorce, you know, getting remarried. Those really big, significant life changes, they change the trajectory of our life. If we went to school, our life would go in one direction. If we don't go to school, it goes, you know, it goes in another direction. Same thing if we get married, don't get married, have kids, don't have kids. So there's something here that if you were to move towards this stream, you would change your life. So 10 years from now, your life would be completely different than if you just stayed put, for lack of a better word, stayed put where you are. I feel like if you don't move in this direction, you're going to regret it in the future. That's the feeling I get here. 4 of Swords. Yeah, if you sit on this and you don't do anything, look at that, 444. I would look up that angel number. The Star. This is your wish fulfillment. Go for it. This is your wish fulfillment. It's your North Star. So you're being called, the Cancerian collective is being called in a particular direction. And they're currently not listening to their intuition here, not listening to their inner voice. We'll figure out why that is. We have the 6 of Cups, 4 of Swords, further clarified by 10 of Wands. And the Star card is the 3 of Wands, moving in that new direction, right? So bottom of the deck, we've got 6 of Swords, more card of movement. Look at this, Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, 7 of Swords to the Sun. You would be sabotaging your potential here to for the 10 of Cups as well as the 10 of Pentacles if you don't do this. Look, this message is either going to resonate for you or it's not. Some of you know, I want to move in this direction. I want to, I don't know, change jobs. I want to move halfway around the world. You know, I don't want to be an accountant anymore. I want to become a sous chef. Like, I want to open up my own business. I want to get married. I want to get a divorce. There's just something here, and it's different for all of you. Your gut instinct, and you're such a highly intuitive sign, right? Your gut instinct is saying, like, let's go, right? Let's get more information and launch that business. Let's look for another job. Let's leave this person. Let's become vulnerable and go out there and meet our person. For those of you who are single, there's something internally here to you that's pulling you in this direction. And some of you are just flat out refusing to do that. You know the direction you want to go in, but in that 4 of Swords energy, the individual here is just holding the Ace of Swords, holding the bow and arrow, but they're not actually shooting their shot. They're not taking the chance here. They're just very laid back. So I feel like if you don't do anything with this, then I feel like in time, it can become very burdensome for you. Like, this would be like a lot of guilt. It would be like there would be like a heaviness here on you. And almost a feeling of regret. Notice how this person in this card is younger. So this is like, I have the opportunity now to leave behind the 9 wands, grab the Ace of Wands and move in this new direction. And now this is like a very older version of that person sitting in the boat, thinking about what could have been had I taken that shot, had I gone in that direction, if I would have made a different decision. This is almost giving me a feeling of like lamenting. That's typically not what I get for the 4 of Swords, but this is almost feeling like regret. And that could very well turn into anger for some of you in the future. It's almost like kicking yourself after the fact, like, oh my God, I really sabotaged myself. Even the 7 of Wands, the individual is crossing a bridge. So it's almost like because I didn't go in that direction or I didn't take the chance. All right, let's see what this is all about. We have the 6 of Cups to the 4 of Wands. For some of you, you could have a partner that doesn't want you to move in this direction. Like maybe they're not very supportive of you opening up your own business or changing career paths. For some of you, this could be family that's holding you back. For some of you, this is a lifelong dream that you've had like since childhood. Like, I always wanted to be a baker, or you know what I mean? Something like that. But you're afraid to move towards it. So take the messages how they resonate to you. I'm sensing fear here. Tell me, what is the 6 of Cups here to the 4 of Wands? One more shuffle here. Thank you. What is this? Strength. Look at you holding yourself back from a dream. This is so sad. 10 of Cups. This would make you so happy. You're holding yourself back from being emotionally fulfilled. King of Cups. There you are, whether you're masculine or feminine. Bottom of the deck, Chariot. The Hermit. Page of Pentacles. Maybe for some of you, this requires you to start new. Like start from scratch, page level. Maybe that's what you're afraid of. I could be speaking to a Cancerian, like, let's say you're single, right? And you want to move towards meeting your soulmate or divine counterpart. And you know, like, well, if I could really meet the one, I would be so happy. We could have a family together or combined families, or maybe it's just me and that person. And it's just us as a family, right? Us versus the world. But then I would have to start from scratch. Maybe I'm better off being single. Maybe I shouldn't be vulnerable. But in that case, I kind of feel like as you get older, you might meet other people that you end up dating or being with, but there could be a feeling here like I should have found someone sooner. Maybe you end up alone. I hate to say that. I'm not the tarot reader that scares you, but there's something here about if you don't go for this, you will be regretting it in the future. But some of you don't want to move towards it because you have to start from scratch. I don't know if I want to start from scratch. Like my own business, start dating again. It could even be reconciling with someone. Maybe in order for you to reconcile with an individual, you kind of have to, because with that star card, maybe there was a tower moment here in a connection for you. But in order for you to reconcile, that relationship has to start from ground level, right? Because I got the King and Queen of Pentacles. So maybe for some of you, it's a marriage or some type of long-term commitment. So there could be a feeling like that. Like, oh, I can't go back to it the way it was. We would really have to start from scratch. I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe I'm just better off going out on my own and finding someone eventually. Whatever this is, you know, obviously it's different for all of you. But you know intuitively that it has the potential to make you very happy. And yet you're holding yourself back from moving towards it. The person, place, thing, dream, you name it. It would make you very happy. 10 of Wands to the Four of Swords. Why is the 10 of Wands to the Four of Swords here? For cool your emotions. Bottom of that, Ace of Pentacles, that new beginning. I really feel like if you don't go for whatever this is, you will regret it one day. It's like one day you'll be in some, I don't know, remote, you know, cafe somewhere, and it'll just dawn on you. I mean, look what's across from this person. No one. There's an empty seat. So maybe you regret moving towards the person because in the future they're not there by you. Or the job or something like that. I get this feeling like maybe for some of you, you're in a relationship you want to leave. Maybe you're being called to leave a relationship, but you're afraid that you'll end up alone. So it's almost like I may as well stay where I'm at. Like the devil I know is better than the devil I don't know. Could be something like that too. The Cancerian Collective is so large on my channel, so I'm sorry for throwing out so many different messages that I get. I just feel like different people need to hear, different messages. Tell me why the 10 of Wands is here to this Four of Swords. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Four of Pentacles. Look at 4444. I would definitely do an internet search on that angel number. Six of Wands, holding yourself back from victory. Queen of Wands, taking the inspired action. And you're holding yourself back. I've never seen the Cancerian Collective so resistant to change. Especially when your emotions are involved. Because typically when you love something or love someone, I mean, you're the King and Queen of Cups in tarot, right? So you pour your heart into this. And so you're being called to pour your heart in something, in someone, in a particular direction. And you're holding yourself back from victory and success. Only you know why that is. But two messages here of holding yourself back. And yeah, you're robbing yourself of this dream. I kind of feel like you have no one else to blame is the message here. It's like if you don't do this 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, 20 years down the line, when you're sitting there, you know, contemplating life over a cup of coffee, don't be mad at anyone else why you didn't move towards your wish fulfillment, because you had the opportunity to. Tell me more about this Three of Wands. I kind of feel some of you are going to move towards this almost like last minute. Maybe you get the clarity you need in the new moon in your sign in Cancer on the 25th of June. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Devil. Remember I said the devil I know is better than the devil I don't know. Maybe I'm better off being in a toxic relationship instead of going out and being single and, you know, meeting my real person one day. Because maybe I won't meet my real person. Maybe for some of you, you're allowing doubts, fears, and anxieties to keep you trapped in something. that isn't really happy, and your intuition is telling you to, you know, leave it behind and move forward. But devil I know is better than no devil at all, right? Better than sitting there alone one day. Tell me more about this. The Knight of Swords. And we have the King of Wands. We have now Queen to the King of Wands. So, which for me is an energetic, like escalation in a positive way. Death card. I think most of you are going to go for this, even though right now you're not sure. Maybe this reading is what helps you do this. I don't know. And again, could be reconciliation. Could be leaving a toxic situation. Opening up your own business. King, Queen of Wands could be the entrepreneurs. Maybe you're already a business owner and there's a big monumental change that needs to be done here. Maybe you're really afraid of changing up your business or offering a new service. So take it how it resonates to you. I think you've been holding yourself back from moving in a particular direction. I kind of see you here conquering this demon, this devil, this whatever toxicity this has been, or doubts, fears, or insecurities. I feel a lot better because I do think that you will receive the information, offer, opportunity, or just even internal inspiration to leave that behind. Yep, Death card, Ace of Pentacles. Put an end to that. Oh my God, look at that. Put an end to that and move towards the new. I think the new, and maybe it's this reading, or maybe it's some intuitive hit that you'll get around that new moon. Maybe you have some clarity coming to you that tells you, I can't miss this. This is great. Emperor. King of Pentacles. Sorry, I thought that was the King. It's the Knight. King of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, Temperance, Archangel Michael. This is beautiful. Two of Cups. I think you end up moving towards this. I just think right now you're feeling a bit stuck. I think the clarity you need is coming. I would also call in the new. New moons and are all about calling in the new, or whatever help, guidance, or assistance you need to move towards the new, whether that's money or courage or strength or something like that. So if your intuition is calling you in a particular direction, you're supposed to go for it. You're supposed to go for that. And maybe for some of you, this requires you to leave a comfort zone. Sometimes we stay in things that become very toxic, but we stay because they're comfortable. And it's not until we're far out of it that we realize, wow, that was a really, really toxic connection, a really toxic work environment. And this could be a pattern for some of you. It could be a diet plan. It's just, I kind of feel like you're being called in a certain direction and you haven't been listening. You have been refusing the call. I don't think you're going to refuse it much longer. That Six of Swords tells me you're going to move towards the Ace of Pentacles, because that's what the Queen has there. I think you're going to create a very strategic plan. This is Virgo energy for me, that Knight of Pentacles. Virgo energy is creating the plan and being very methodical, very strategic, very much about systems. So I do think that you end up creating a path forward for yourself. I don't think you're going to leave this dream as a dream. Let's get 3 cards of advice. So you were making me nervous there for a while because I was like, you really want this. But I have some hope and faith has been restored for me, and I hope for you as well. I do think you receive the answers you need, the information, the opportunity, whatever this is for you in order to move forward. Yeah, 3 cards of advice here for Cancer. One more shuffle. Thank you. We have the Knight of Cups. Again, information, offer, opportunity. Could be aha, epiphany moment. I think it comes in 7 of Cups and the 9 of Wands. Yeah, don't give up. I want to tell you, don't give up. King of Pentacles, the Emperor, the High Priestess, Ace of Pentacles shows itself again. The 9 of Wands is a card of perseverance. So I would say, even though you might be confused right now, you don't know what direction to go in. That's very like Neptune and Pisces energy there. It's a 7 of Cups. I feel like the clarity that you need is coming. That 7 of Cups there, I feel like gets reduced to 1 cup, which is the clarity to move forward. And I think you're moving towards the new. Yep, you're finally going to cross that bridge that you've been so reluctant to cross. I think you cross it. Page of Wands for me is like Lewis and Clark adventure energy here. I think you will obtain the information you need in order to move forward. Whew, you had me nervous there for a second. I'll be quite honest with you. This must be a pretty monumental decision if you've been refusing the call from within. But I kind of think that's coming to an end quite quickly. Looks like you will be moving forward towards wish fulfillment. So bravo to you. It appears you will be an excellent example to the rest of the zodiac to not hold themselves back anymore from their ultimate wish fulfillment. So congratulations. I love that message, that energy for you. If you like that message, it resonated with you, or you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I wish you good luck with this. Be easy.
with yourself as you move in this new direction. And as always, I'm sending you light, love, and peace. Hello, Leo. Let's see what your new moon and Cancer messages are. You have Eye of the Needle, intentionality, card number 17. This is almost giving me Ace of Swords vibes, like looking through the head of a needle, right? The hole of the needle, the eye of the needle, seeing things very clearly, maybe clearer than you've seen them in quite some time. Card number 17. You then have, oh, you got two cards here. New moon in Leo, shine. I love that when you get your own moonology card. And then you have last quarter moon in Libra, make time for self-love. Maybe there's kind of an energy here. Let me get this other card here for you. Do nothing, void moon. I think what you're realizing, and I should have said it before I saw the do nothing, void moon card. I think what you are realizing, or will be realizing in the energy of the new moon in Cancer, is that you have not been putting enough love into yourself. I think what you're going to realize is, I really haven't been doing anything for myself. I think you have. I think the reality here, sort of what's dawning on the Leo collective, is I need to be more intentional when it comes to how I invest my pentacle energy, time, love, money, commitment, etc., in myself. Like, the days of doing nothing and not taking care of myself are over. Time for self-love. Bottom of the deck, 5 of Cups. Yeah. Realizing that sitting around and crying over the 3 cups that have spilt won't do you any good. It's time to turn around and realize that there are other opportunities or other soulmates. And 2 of Cups, I should have pulled that card out, but most of you are familiar with tarot by now. Behind that individual is the 2 of Cups. It could indicate new soulmate connections, professional, platonic, romantic. Sometimes it could also be the integration of masculine and feminine energy within yourself and becoming whole and becoming one. So I kind of feel like that's what's happening here. You're moving on from something that's been emotionally unfulfilling or displeasing or disappointing. And I feel like this next chapter for you is taking care of you. One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. Yeah, 5 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, the Lovers. You have a choice. You could do nothing. You could continue to not pour into yourself, or you can begin to pour into yourself. 5 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, the Lovers, Ace of Pentacles. I think you're going to choose you this time around. Bravo. Star card, Page of Swords, and the Hermit. Look at all of that healing. I almost feel like the lesson has been learned. 10 of Swords, 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands. Whatever this has been for you, situation, environment, connection. I think you spent a lot of pentacle energy in it. Time, love, money, commitment, etc. I think what you're realizing is you either poured too little into yourself, or not enough, or nothing at all. I think that's what the realization is. I think now moving forward, you will be more intentional, because whatever situation, environment, or connection this was for you obviously didn't pan out right. 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands. I think because you put so much of yourself into it, you actually depleted yourself. Maybe that's the realization here for the Leo collective. Very interesting message there. Maybe initially some of you felt like I lost myself in that situation, environment, or connection. That person abandoned me. I think the realization here is I abandoned myself by being in that, or by overgiving or overinvesting in that. So it doesn't mean in the future I won't have other situations, environments, or connections. But I think the lesson here that had to be learned is I have to be very intentional in not who I put my energy into or what I put my energy into, but the amount of energy I put into it. I think that's the aha epiphany moment here for the Leo collective. I feel like that's what will enable you to move forward. It's not that this person, place, or thing didn't work out and it abandoned you. I feel like you abandoned yourself while you were in it. Oof. Yeah. Let's get some clarifiers here. I think that having that aha epiphany moment will enable you to move on from this. I think some of your heartbreak with whatever this has been like kind of blaming the other entity, for why it didn't pan out or work out. I think the aha epiphany moment here is that person didn't abandon me when they left me, right? If it's a relationship. I was abandoning myself the whole time I was in that connection. Okay, tell me more about this. You overgave. You overgave to someone or something here. I think that's what you're realizing. One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. Four of Swords. Four of Wands. Hierophant. Could have been a marriage, could have been a job, someone you wanted long-term commitment with. Leo energy there, Strength card, there you are. I think that's your aha epiphany moment. It's not that this crashed and burned and didn't work out. Like, that's bad enough, right? You feel abandoned by it, or because it didn't work out, maybe it triggered some abandonment wounds for you. But I think what you're realizing is you were abandoning yourself the whole entire time you were in it, just to try to keep it or salvage it. I don't think you're making that mistake again in the future. Because instead of putting, like, let's look at this in the scope of, I have 10 pentacles, right? I'm speaking like you. I think you gave 7 to whatever this was, and you left 3 for yourself. And I think you were depleted while you were in it. You may not have realized it, but post, right, this ending, I think now you can look back and go, holy crap, I way overgave in all these different aspects of myself. I overgave to whomever or whatever this is. I think moving forward, you're only going to invest 3 pentacles. I think it's you're doing the reverse. Like, if I start with 10, I was putting 7, I'm just going to use person, right? I was putting 7 into that person and 3 into myself. Man, was I constantly depleted. I think your connections moving forward, you're going to put 3 in the connection, and you're going to keep 7 for yourself. I don't think you're making that mistake again. Yeah, time for self-love. I think you lost yourself with whatever or whomever that was. I think that's what happened there. Tell me more about this Knight of Pentacles to the Three of Pentacles. I feel like moving forward, you'll be doing relationships differently, whether they're professional, platonic, or romantic. Yeah, it's 10 of Pentacles. I think you'll be distributing your pentacle energy, time, love, money, commitment, etc., very differently in the future. Tell me more about this here. One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. Temperance, balance. You'll be way more balanced now with your energy. 2 of Pentacles being way more balanced now. Yeah, Page of Wands. It's like, that's my Lewis and Clark card of tarot. It's like, discovery. This is a whole new way you're discovering how to do relationships. Can't go full throttle anymore. And it doesn't mean you don't love the person or like the person or want a future with the person. But I think you learned a very hard lesson. You can't lose yourself in the connection. And I think some of you lost yourself in the connection. It wasn't that the ending triggered an abandonment wound. You were triggering an abandonment wound within yourself the entire time you were in the connection. And I don't think you realized it until it came to an end. Some of you still haven't realized it, but you're about to realize it in this new moon in Cancer. It's the aha epiphany moment. So I feel like moving forward, you'll be making the choice to, again, invest your pentacle energy differently. Now that I look at that Page of Swords to the Page of Wands, maybe for some of you, this is what you learned in childhood. Like, and I hate to be the reader that does that. Like, all my woes as an adult are part of, what happened in my childhood. But the fact remains, we see things as children and we learn things as children. And we learn how to give in connections as children within the construct of a family, with our parental or guardianship, connections, and then friends that we make in school. So we learn very early on. Maybe some of you learned very early on that you had to overgive in order to be loved. Like, it was you were never good enough. You constantly had to overgive to your detriment. And maybe the adult in you now, and take no offense to that, but, because we all, hermit energy, I just kind of feel like this is like an awakening for you. Like, oh my God, I've been doing this since childhood. Like, this is embedded in me since childhood. To overgive, to try to get mom's love, dad's love. You know what I mean? Try to get friends to like me. I think you've been an overgiver for most of your life. And you thought that the connections you overgave in wouldn't end, but they all ended. Most of them ended terribly. I think the realization here is, I can love in a balanced way without overgiving. I have nothing to prove. Oh, I have nothing to prove. I am who I am, and I can give to this connection what I can give, and that person can make the conscious decision if they want it or not, but I don't have to oversell myself. I just heard, I'm not a used car. I'm not a used car. You're not a used car. You're not a used car salesman. Thank you. You do not have to oversell yourself. Oh my God, I love this message for you. Yeah, I think moving forward, I've just tapped into a group of you. You will not be overselling yourself. This is what I have. This is what I have to offer to you as an employee or as an employer, right? If you're own your own company and you're hiring, this is what I have to offer to a friend, to a community group I volunteer in, to my family, to my kids, to my person. And they have the right to make the choice whether or not it's good enough or not for them, right? Because we all have choices, but I'm not going to overdo it anymore. I'm not to my detriment. You're seeing things very clearly now, very clearly. Whatever this was for you that ended, it had to break your heart in order to fix your vision. Because now you'll do relationships differently. Tell me about this Ace of Pentacles to the Lovers card here. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Some of you, this Star card to the Page of Swords, you're healing a childhood wound here. Yeah, look, the healing of the childhood wound. Look how much older and wiser you are in age. Like, it took a lifetime to learn this, regardless of how old you are. You could be in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 80s, doesn't matter. Look how long it took for you to learn. This was embedded in you in childhood. This is one of the more profound or deeper readings that I've done so far, and I started at Aries. Wow. What is that Ace of Pentacles? Page of Pentacles. It's like you're relearning how to love, how to invest. Oh my God, that cat toy. How to invest and the cat's not even up here. How to invest yourself. It's like going back to childhood. Oh my God. And relearning how to love. Knight of Cups, relearning how to love. Death, relearning how to love. Three of Wands, Four of Cups, and the Sun card. This is who I am. This is what I have to offer. You can accept it or you can reject it. That person has the right to do that. But I don't need to oversell myself or to make myself, out to be something I'm not, or overpromise or overcommit myself. I feel like you've learned your worth. And I kind of feel like the Leo collective is rising in vibration. This was hard. Some of you, you've already gone through this. Bravo to you. Drop some comments and encourage the other Leos who are still struggling with this. But a lot of you, obviously it's a collective reading, so for the majority of you, this will resonate, right? Clearly not for all of you, so check your other placements. But for those of you where this is resonating, I think your aha epiphany moment is this was rooted in childhood. Always thinking you weren't good enough. I don't know, maybe you're from a household of, divorced parents. Maybe you blame yourself for dad leaving or mom leaving, and therefore you always had to overgive in order to get the affection of the parent who left, or maybe the parent who stayed. I could be speaking to a Leo where you were put up for adoption, and you could have this feeling like, I always have to overgive and oversell myself. Maybe in your subconscious you feel like, because my parents didn't even want me. And that's not true. You don't really know the reasons why they put you up for adoption or foster care, or why a family member had to take care of you. Yeah, this is relearning how to do love and eradicating the lessons of love that were embedded in you at a very early age, that taught you that you had to go above and beyond to be wanted, needed, desired, and loved. Those days for the Leo collective are over. You're mastering this. You went into the cave of love very naively because of these lessons. I don't even want to call them lessons. They're almost like bad habits. Somebody it's like a bad habit. Yeah, you were like addicted to overgiving. And you went into this cave very naively, thinking this is how love works. And you're coming out so much smarter and wiser. It took a lot of heartbreak to get you here. But I don't think you will ever abandon yourself again in a connection. I think the path forward in that Three of Cups, I think it's worth the pain. Where you're headed is the Sun card. Happiness, 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. Not because you had to fight for it, not because you had to oversell yourself for it, but because you deserve it. You don't have to do anything more than be who you are. 3 cards of advice here, and we'll wrap this up. One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. Queen of Cups, loving yourself first. Take time for self-love. Love yourself first, and be very discerning. She's very discerning in this card. Her chalice of love has a lid on it. She's not just going to open it up and pour it out onto other people. Not in a way that where she will leave her cup empty. Oh, those days are over. 9 of Pentacles. You've grown a lot from this. You're a lot more grounded now than you were before. Ace of Swords. And that's the truth. Bottom of the deck, Six of Pentacles. You will be giving your pentacle energy to connections very differently from now on. I feel like you have been struggling or surviving in relationships in the Five of Pentacles. Overgiving, 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 constantly feeling depleted. Moving forward, you're putting yourself first. Nine of Pentacles. I think you will feel happier and healthier. I think you will be shining brighter. This is like a little glow up energy here. Once you start giving to yourself and you continue that, I'm not telling you to never enter another connection again, but I can tell you from the cards, you will be entering them differently and you will be maintaining them differently. You will be putting yourself first. And it was a hard lesson. For some of you, like I said, this was rooted in childhood. If you had a pretty significant, sorry, the chair's squeaky. If you had a significant connection here end in your life, I wouldn't be like, okay, it's over, I'm out. I would go back and say, why did that connection end? Like that other connection ended, and that other connection ended, and that other connection ended. Because I think if you can trace it back, you're going to see that this goes back to childhood. This need for love and acceptance became embedded in you, this horrible habit, that's all I can call it, of overgiving. If you don't learn that, I think you'll repeat it in the next connection, next connection, next connection. So yeah, if you do nothing, nothing changes. I think you'll repeat the same heartbreaking cycle. And that's kind of what happens in life, right? We end up repeating lessons until we learn them. I think for most of you, you've learned it, hermit. And if not, you're about to. So that's what I have for you, Leo. Someone here broke your heart. I think in retrospect, you'll be able to look back years from now and say, wow, that really fixed my vision. I am never going to oversell myself again or expect less. Yeah, I think you're going to put yourself first from now on, as you should. Hard lesson there. And almost like a rewiring of heart and brain when it comes to how you show up in love. But I think you're ready for it. I think you're tired of connections that crash and burn or leave you feeling depleted. So I kind of see Leo 2.0 emerging in the future. Right now, take all the time you need to rest and recover. We saw the Four of Swords. I believe we saw the Four of Swords. Definitely saw the Hermit energy. So take some time. It might hit you really hard for some of you who haven't gone through it yet to realize like, oh my God, this was embedded in me since childhood. And don't blame yourself that you didn't see it sooner. You're right on time to see it now. Now moving forward, you will show up differently. And you'll never forget to love yourself again. And that's the most important thing here. That's what I have for you, Leo. If you like that message, it resonated with you, or you want to claim all or part of it, maybe just found it to be helpful or even hopeful, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace. Sorry about that. Okay. Hello, Virgo. Let's see what your new moon and Cancer messages are. You have Sky Dancers, Surrender, card number 48. I just want to make sure my mic is on. Okay, it is. Then you have New Moon in Taurus, Know Your Worth. And then you have Moonflower, Take a Risk. This is sort of giving me like Wheel of Fortune vibe here. All right, let's see what this is all about here for Virgo. I feel like it's time for you to get out of your shell. This is giving me like coming out of the cocoon feeling. So maybe some of you have sort of been like in hermit mode or not really putting yourselves out there too much or interacting with people. And it could be, you know, in respect to your professional, platonic, or romantic connections. But maybe it's time for you to take a risk and get out of your shell. All right, tell me more about this here for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. What do they need to know about Sky Dancers, Surrender, New Moon in Taurus, Know Your Worth, and then Moonflower, Take a Risk. One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. Maybe this all started for you with the new moon in Taurus that occurred in May. All right, let's keep going with this message. We have the Surrender card, Knight of Wands, Know Your Worth, Ten of Swords. So maybe you had something end in that new moon in Taurus for some of you. Take a Risk, clarified by the Tower. Yeah, that would be shocking. Take a risk, right? Get yourself out of there. Kind of out of isolation mode. Knight of Wands, clarified by Ace of Wands. Yeah, I would say surrender to the new here. Move towards the new. Ten of Swords, clarified by Page of Wands. And the Tower, clarified by the Chariot. I think most of you will be doing this in Cancer season. Bottom of the Queen of Swords, the moon. There's that new moon in Cancer. And then you have the Knight of Swords. Four Pentacles, the Empress, and the High Priestess. I kind of feel like, and you know this, so if the message is hitting home for you, it's one of these messages where like it'll either hit or it won't. I think most of you know you've been holding yourselves back for moving forward. But at the same time, I think your intuition is telling you it's time to move forward. Like it's time to get out there and meet new people or meet a person or something like that. Let's see where we're going with this message. So Sky Dancers, surrender, clarified by the Knight of Wands, taking the inspired action to move towards the new beginning. Whatever the new is for you, the new job, the new career path, launching your own business, meeting your counterpart, maybe taking a current relationship to a higher level of commitment, meeting new friends, starting that creative project. Maybe you've been putting something on the back burner for quite some time. There's definitely something here of needing to get out of your shell and move towards the new opportunity here. I kind of feel like it's waiting for you. What is this here for Virgo? Ace of Wands to the Knight of Wands. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Oh, I got it. So it's not good enough to just call it in, right? Because you're the magician in tarot. You share that with Gemini. So you can't just manifest what you want, like light your candles and do your new moon rituals and say, I'm calling in the new job, or I'm calling in the opportunity to launch my own business or expand the business or meet the one, or like whatever this is for you. You can't just surrender. You can't just surrender and then expect it to come to you. You literally need to take the inspired action to not just manifest in the magician energy, but to realize, know your worth, know that you have all four aces in order to co-create with the divine to go after whatever it is that you want. So yeah, I kind of want to say, don't just surrender, which is kind of the opposite message we usually get in tarot readings. They usually tell us like, just surrender and go with the flow. I kind of feel it's the opposite message here. Don't just give up on the dream. Don't just surrender it and be like, well, if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. No, if you really want it to happen, you have to go after it with great inspired action. Tell me more about this here for Virgo. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Okay. I'm going to take those cards that fell out, the ones that fell out face up. I'm not even going to look at the other ones, but look at what fell out. Three of Pentacles, King of Swords, and the Fool, the new beginning. You need to take the inspired action to literally apply yourself, apply pentacle energy into what it is that you want. And this being Mercury here in the King of Swords, again, I feel like you know what this is. So again, this message is either going to hit or not for you. I think you already know what this is. It's different for all of you. You can see it. You know it. You've been hoping for it. See, that's just it. You kind of gave it up to God or the universe. You already surrendered it. So you already know it. You can see it. But this is the divine telling you, you can't just leave it to chance, or you can't just leave it to us to do, right? Whoever us are up there. You can't just leave it to us. You need to literally pour pentacle energy, time or love or money, commitment, loyalty, whatever it is, energy into this, into having the new beginning. You can't wait for the new beginning to come to you or the new opportunity. You need to go out and get it. Know your worth. 10 of Swords to the Page of Wands. What is this here for Virgo? Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. Clarified by Justice. 3 of Cups. And the 9 of Swords. Bottom of the deck, we have the High Priestess. I know it's not the Hermit, but it is the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is an individual that keeps to themselves. They don't say much. So maybe for some of you, you had something end or officially end or something like that around the time of the new moon in Taurus in that 10 of Swords energy. Or maybe that's when you really began to recover from the ending or started to recover from the ending of something that ended long ago. Remember, you're all on different timelines. But there's definitely something here in respect to having to start anew in some form or fashion around that new moon in Taurus. It's kind of like, now I have to start all over. Page of Wands energy. And I think you've been really up in your head about this. Nine of Swords. Maybe about reconnecting with people, getting back out there and having a good time. I want to clarify that a little bit further. I think a lot of you have been keeping to yourselves, maybe not connecting with people or connecting with new people. Tell me more about this here. One more shuffle. Thank you. What is this all about? Ace of Pentacles. So there's your new beginning. Page of Cups. And the High Priestess again. So bottom of the deck, World card. So you had something monumental end. When that ended, obviously different for all of you. What ended, obviously different for all of you. But since then, I feel like you've been very reserved. I think you've been keeping quiet, holding yourself back, not making new connections, maybe not really even wanting to connect with the people you currently have in your life. When you do show up, you show up small. I don't mean that in a negative way, but Page of Cups, because I was hurt so bad in the past, I can't give you more than Page of Cups, whether you're a friend or a professional associate or a colleague or even a lover. I can't give too much to this. This is the feeling. I have to hold a lot of my feelings or my love or my desires to myself. So when I do show up, I show up very small. The less I give, the less I give, the less pain I will feel when it ends. The feeling here is kind of like, because like everything ends. So since whatever this ending has been for you, the World card, Wheel of Fortune, Eight of Wands, and the Hierophant, whatever this was for you, a job, a partnership, a marriage, a partnership you thought one day would go to marriage, you've been keeping yourself small or showing up in a very minimal way because the last time you went all in, it crashed and burned and it broke your heart, or you lost a job, or the business failed. You know what I mean? Whatever this was for you. So it's kind of like, since that ending, I'm just going to, again, Page of Swords, I show up in small ways. I communicate in small ways. I love in small ways. You've minimized your risk. You've minimized your risk in an effort to minimize the pain the next time around. Because it's like, well, the bottom's always going to fall out, is the feeling here. If it's not your message, just check another placement. So the message here is saying, no, you can love again, or you can start that business again, or you can, you can begin again, is the overall feeling. But you can't just hope and pray and wish for it. You need to pour real serious pentacle energy into it to co-create with the divine, to attract what it is that you want, or to go after what it is that you want. And when you do attain it, don't show up small. Take the risk. It'll be worth the risk to move forward with this. So you kind of have like a three-part message here. Your first part message is you're desiring a new beginning. You can't just hope and pray for it. You need to literally put in the energy to go after it. And then when it does show up, you can't show up small because you're afraid of the pain again. You have to go all in. Chariot to the Tower. You have to take the risk. Why is that? Why do they have to take the risk? Chariot to the Tower. Why do they have to take the risk? One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. I feel like it's your moment, Wheel of Fortune. You won't regret. You won't regret taking this risk. So whatever it is that you want, go after it. Great passion. You see that dream, whatever it is, you can envision it, good. Go after it. And when it arrives, don't show up small. Take the risk, Wheel of Fortune. It'll be bigger or better than what you think it will be. Why is that? One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. Why is that? Two of Cups, soulmate, soul bond connection. Seven of Pentacles. Eight of Cups. Go all in. Don't get stuck back. And the last time I invested all of that time, I ended up emotionally unfulfilled, and I had to walk away, or they had to go, or they had to walk away from me, or whatever happened here. I wouldn't allow your past to hold you back. I think that's one of the Moonology cards, is don't let your past hold you back. I think that's South Node in Virgo, I think, if I remember correctly. Now I got to look. South Node. It doesn't say Virgo, but yeah, it is South Node. Don't let your past hold you back. So, and the South Node is in Virgo now, I think. Okay, so there's something here about putting in real pentacle energy into going after what you want. Don't just surrender and wait for it to come to you. When it does come to you, don't show up small. And this new soulmate soul bond connection, whether it's professional, for some of you it'll be professional, for others of you it's platonic, for others of you it's romantic. Don't allow that past defeat to stop you from moving forward. Why is that? Yeah, that Queen of Swords is, and look, that's another butterfly too here in the card. So the Moon and the Knight of Swords, there's something here. You need to see this very clearly. King of Swords, Queen of Swords, and go after it. And slay these doubts, fears, insecurities, anxieties that you have. That, oh, I can't go all in. Oh, the last time I went all in, it crashed and burned. No, take a risk. Take a risk for this person. This person either like helps you launch your career, or they become your best friend for life. It's a very spiritual connection. And the Two of Cups card in this deck, they're floating. They're not all of their feet are on the ground. This is a spiritual connection coming in to help you. This is good fortune. Again, whether that's professional, platonic, romantic. I wouldn't hold myself back here. Tell me more about this connection coming in. One more shuffle. Thank you. This connection. The Hermit. Four of Cups. I wouldn't miss it. Some of you are going to miss this. The Emperor. the boss, the business partner, the divine counterpart. I wouldn't let this pass me by. Six of Cups. This is a soulmate, soul bond connection. Some of you have the potential to meet this person and not take the risk. I think that's what your message here is. When this new person enters your life, don't miss this opportunity. Four of Cups. Don't sit there like, I don't know if I want to open myself up more to this. Take a risk. This ends up being like the new boss, the business partner, the divine counterpart, whether they're masculine or feminine. Yeah, don't pause on this too much. Or don't show up very little. Take the risk. Move forward with the soulmate, soul bond connection. See it from a different perspective. Look, Six of Wands. This is a spiritual connection. I think this is what you're afraid of. I think you're afraid of the past repeating itself. I think you're afraid that this person might manipulate you like the past person did. Magician to the Devil card would be a master manipulator. I feel like this is, I don't think you can judge every person on the planet based on the negative experiences you've had with 1, 2, 10, 20, however many people that was. I wouldn't judge this person based on this. I feel like if you allow yourself, if you allow your past to hold you back, I think you're going to miss out on a really great soulmate, soul bond connection here. Let's get 3 cards of advice for you. This is going to push you out of your comfort zone when this person appears. I'll try to get timing for you on that also. When is this person appearing? Appearing like magic. I don't know why I just heard, do you believe it? Magic. Okay. When is this person appearing? Not every card in tarot is a timing card, but let's see what we get. Otherwise, I'll use that timing deck over there. When does this person appear? One more shuffle. Thank you. 10 of Wands within the next 10 days for some of you. 7 of Cups, the 7th month of the year. That would be July. I'm doing this reading on the 22nd. Wouldn't you know, 10 days from now, we will officially be in July. And then we have the 7 of Swords, 7 weeks. Remember, that's just timing here. So somewhere between 10 days to 7 weeks, okay, is when this person is entering your life. For most of you, it'll be in the month of, I was going to say, I can't even say it, September. I was going to say 7, like 7-tember. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I need more coffee. In July. Most of you are going to meet this person in July. Don't pass this person up. This person is beneficial to your life. How is that? Why is that? Why is this person beneficial to Virgo? Why is this person beneficial to Virgo? Queen of Cups. This is someone who's nurturing. This is someone who will teach you to love again, how to love unconditionally, how to love yourself unconditionally. One more shuffle here, please and thank you. 5 of Wands, 5 of Swords, Ace of Swords. It was worth it. Bottom of the deck, Hierophant. This is a business partner you've always wanted. This is a job you've always wanted. This is a relationship that goes the distance. This person will change your life. 5s are all about change. And Ace of Swords is there. That's the truth. This person will radically change your life. This could very well be the person you end up marrying or in a higher level of commitment with. Page of Pentacles, 2 of Wands, 3 of Wands. Totally moves your life forward. I wouldn't miss out on this person. Whether they're being sent to help you financially, like, or your ride or die best friend for the rest of your life. I wouldn't allow doubts, fears, and insecurities of whatever transpired in the past, regardless of how many times that failed or those connections failed. Between 10 days and 7 weeks, you meet this new person. I would be welcoming. And I understand your reluctancy because you were burned. Maybe you don't want to go full throttle immediately. But your message here is to take the risk. This is all happening in divine timing. This is Wheel of Fortune. This is good luck. This person is coming into your life for good life, for good luck. They will radically change your life here for the better. They will take your life in an entirely new direction. Don't miss this person because you're closed off. Okay? That's what and obviously use your discernment and your intuition. Don't just listen to the tarot lady here in New Jersey, in the United States of America. But there's such a strong message here that this person is being put on your path to help you in your life. Now, people enter our life for, a reason, a season, a duration. Not everyone stays in it. So whether this person is going to stay in it for 2 months, 2 years, 20 years, I don't know. It'll be different for all of you. But there's a need here for you to take a risk and move forward with this person or connect with them on some level. It'll be very, very beneficial to you if you do that. This is Jupiterian energy. Jupiter's the great benefactor. So I would move forward with that, but that's just me. If that was my reading, that's what I do. But of course, that's what I would do. But of course, use your own intuition and discernment. That's what I have for you, Virgo. That is your new moon in Cancer reading. If you like that message, it resonates with you, or you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Libra. Let's see what your new moon in Cancer messages are. You have the farther gate, bold step forward, 55. This is all about change. 5 plus 5 is also 10. So I think for a lot of you, something monumental is ending in your life or has just recently come to an end. I feel like it's not quite over. I don't know if you can see in this card, but it's like you would be on this side of the gate. The gates are open, so you need to walk through. But then off in the distance, there's another gate. So whatever this is, it's not like entirely closing out for you like this week, this month type of thing. But if you can just move one bold step forward, you get to the next gate. That's like the golden gates there. So I feel like that's where the sun comes in. That's where happiness rests. But you have to take the one step forward out of the gate that you're at, and then that'll get you to the next, like to the next level or the next phase, so you can close out whatever this is. First quarter moon in Gemini, speak your world into being. 15 seconds of insane courage. I don't know why that just came to me. Follow the moon. Watch for the signs. So you should be receiving signs. I would pay attention, like seeing the number 55 a lot on your watch, on a clock, the page of the book you're reading, on a bumper sticker, on a license plate. I feel like the universe is trying to nudge you through the gates to the next step, to the next chapter of your life. Speak your world into being. Tell me more about this here. Bottom of the deck, 7 of Wands. Some of you are resisting this change. You're kind of standing your ground. You're like, no, I will not leave this job. No, I will not leave this person. But let me see what the cards are. But I almost get the feeling here like shift or be shifted. You can't stay here anymore. I know people hate hearing a tarot reader say that. It's like, who the F for you to tell me I got to leave ABC? I'm just telling you energetically, you can't stay here anymore. You're supposed to blossom into a new butterfly. You're supposed to transform. And I'm not telling you got to do all this week, but you need to take just one step towards moving forward. Tell me more about this here for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. What is this? The farther gate, bold step forward. First quarter moon in Gemini, speak your world into being. Follow the moon. Watch for signs. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Bold step forward. 6 of Pentacles. The first step to doing this is not investing in whatever this is as much as you have been. Pulling back on your energy or your time. That's step 1. Speak your world into being. The Chariot. Well, this is Cancer season. New moon in Cancer. I would ask for what it is that you want. You need money to leave this. You need a new job to leave this. You need help leaving this. Resources, courage, strength, whatever it is. Because the Emperor and Empress are the individuals who ride the Chariot. So in order to take your life in a new direction, you're going to need to do 2 things. 1, you need to ask for the help to bring me whatever I need, call in the new, so I can move on from this. And then 2, I also think you need 15 seconds of insane courage to tell whomever or whatever this is, I'm out. Like give the 2 weeks notice at the job, tell the partner you want the divorce. Like, I don't know what this is for you. Watch for signs. 8 of Pentacles. So yeah, while you're working and washing the dishes or driving the car, like whatever it is, while you're doing your other responsibilities, I would pay attention for signs, synchronicities, songs that come up on the radio even, and you're like, oh my God, that the lyrics hit differently today, listening to that song, something like that. 6 of Pentacles clarified by 5 of Wands. One bold step forward, away from the conflict. Whatever this has been for you, there's conflict, there's competition, there's chaos, there are disagreements. You're no longer on the same page as this entity. This is another 5 here, 555. So you're no longer on the same page with this job or situation or environment or connection. The Chariot is clarified by the 9 of Swords. I think you're afraid of leaving this. I think all of your That's Gemini energy there. Interesting, because it's speak your world into being. First quarter moon in Gemini. But this is like devil meets Gemini. That's not the literal astrological placement, but that's always how I feel about the card because it's so lower octave. It's like, but if I move forward, what if this happens? What if this happens? How do I do this? How do I do that? And we get so caught up, and I know this as a Gemini, I'm your sister air sign, we get so caught up in that thinking that we end up not moving forward. Eight of Pentacles, clarified by Two of Pentacles. I would look for the signs. Something will be playing on repeat, like the infinity loop. You're going to see the same sign over and over again, hear the same song over and over again. Someone might say something to you, and then someone else says the same thing to you like 2 days later. That's what you need to pay attention for. Things being done on repeat or said on repeat or seen on repeat. We'll figure out why that is. Bottom of the deck, Page of Cups, Two of Swords, Ace of Wands. You're almost blocking this new beginning. King of Pentacles, Five of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. Some of you don't want to leave this person behind. This could be a spouse, could be a boss, could be a parental figure. Some of you are blocking. Libra, this is your energy. This is the moon in Libra. We'll have a new moon in Libra in your season. Maybe that's when some of you officially move forward with this. I'll clarify this more. I kind of feel like you're blocking a new beginning. I don't want to see it, right? In the Two of Wands card, the individual has a blindfold on their eyes and going over their ears. I don't want to hear about it. Don't talk about it, Tarot Lady in New Jersey. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. You don't want to see your new beginning, but it's being offered to you. All right, let's see where we're going with this. Why is the Five of Wands to the Six of Pentacles here? Okay, I don't know why I'm getting this message. Some of you have, or you currently are still, overgiving to this situation, environment, or connection. And I'm getting the feeling here of like, well, if I stop showing up the way that I have, or if I stop overgiving, then I'm the bad guy, or then there's going to be a fight. It's almost like you're giving yourself an excuse. Don't get mad at me. You're giving yourself an excuse or reason to continue staying in something you shouldn't stay in because, well, if I change the way I show up in it, then it's going to create a fight, so I just got to stay in it. And that's low vibe Libra. Low vibe Libra is, I have to give myself up for the better of all. And high vibe Libra is, I need to show up in a more balanced way. What I give to you, I give to myself and vice versa. So some of you are afraid of pulling back what you give to this situation, environment, or connection because you don't want to cause the fight or the argument or something like that. Some of you don't want to call someone out on breadcrumbing you. I'm just going to throw that out there for someone watching. For some of you, it's the reverse. You sit here like the beggar and this person breadcrumbs you, whether it's the boss that doesn't pay you enough or give you the pat on the back, or it's a lover who doesn't invest enough in you, maybe because they have someone else, maybe because they don't. But there's even something with that, like you don't even want to talk about it because then it's going to cause a fight. Let's see where we're going with this message. Why is the Five of Wands here to the Six of Pentacles? Yeah, for some of you, you've been overgiving and you're like, well, if I change that up now, it'll cause an argument. I can't do that. But this is how you know, take just one bold step forward. Stop giving as much as you have to this. You don't have to completely abandon it, but you got to pull some back for yourself. You're overgiving. And for others of you, you're the beggar here. And whatever situation, environment, or connection this is, it is not giving to you equally. You're begging for crumbs here. You're literally on the floor. And you don't even want to say anything about it because it's going to lead to a fight. It's like, I don't want to ask for the raise because it'll lead to an argument at work. But what are you supposed to do? Work at the same company for 20 years, never get a raise? You know what I mean? Like, stop expecting less. However this is playing out for you, stop expecting less. Tell me more about this. One more shuffle. Thank you. We have the Empress. I think you need to step into your power. Three of Cups. Judgment. Star, Seven of Cups, the Fool. Okay, got a different message now. For some of you, only take this message if you know. Please don't go home or call your person and fight with them. For some of you, you're in a third-party situation. I don't know if you have the other person or your person has the other person. But for someone here, if this is like a romantic connection, there's triangulation here happening. Either you put your person in competition with another, or your person has put you in competition with another. And either they don't want to say anything about it because they don't want to cause a fight, or you don't want to say anything about it because you don't want to cause a fight. There's almost a feeling here of like, if you're the one with two people, You need to take the bold step forward and choose one individual to move forward with, to have that new beginning with. And you kind of have to let the other person go. You got to, 15 minutes of insane courage, as tough as it's going to be. So you can move forward with that one person and the other person can move on with their life. For others of you, your person is juggling too. There's something here about you standing up for yourself. Not accepting the breadcrumbing. That's just, probably a specific message for one of you watching, but I definitely have a group of you where there's triangulation here happening. One person, it's like one person has their wishes being fulfilled. So let's say it's your person. They have structure and stability with you, and maybe they've got passion or whatever with someone else. Or it could be you. You have structure and stability with your person, and you have passion somewhere else. I have one person here whose their wishes are being fulfilled, and I have another person here, their wishes are not being fulfilled because they're accepting less than what they deserve. And there's something here about taking a bold step forward to rise into Emperor and Empress status, and that's you. That's Libra energy there, whether you're masculine or feminine, and saying, no more. I'm not going to accept less, or I'm not going to continue having two people in my life. I'm going to make the choice, right? If it's you that has it. For others of you, if this is a work situation, you have a work situation here that you go to work every day and you put on this happy face of the Three of Cups and everything's great. And inside you're like internally conflicted because you don't feel like you're getting paid well enough. And in that respect, you need to make the judgment call and look for another job. If a tarot reader ever tells you to quit your job and leave yourself without a paycheck, that's a terrible tarot reader. Do not listen to them. The divine would never tell you to become homeless or to starve yourself or not pay your bills. I mean, if it's highly toxic and abusive, professional relationship or professional work environment, that's one thing. But, if it's not, then obviously go find another job because you have one there. You have one waiting for you by Libra season, by your season. You'll have a new job. So if you're in a situation like that, where you're in a work environment and you're just putting on the happy face, they're not paying you well, they're not treating you well, and you've been internally conflicted about whether I go or not, take the bold step forward and just start getting your applications and resumes out there, because I do feel like another job comes in within the next couple of months for you, and then you can finally leave this one behind. I want to get one more on this. I feel like there's a third message here. Can I get an additional message here for this one? One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. King of Wands, Page of Wands, Five of Pentacles, bottom of the deck, Five of Swords. If you are your own business owner, King of Wands, Queen of Wands energy, there's something here that you are, please don't get mad at me, you're operating your business in a very immature way. You are asking for very little money from your clients for the quality product or service you provide. I don't know if maybe you need the money right now, so you figure, well, if I keep my prices low, it'll attract more business or something like that. Or maybe you're trying to be smart and beat out the competition in that Five of Wands energy. So I'm going to really drop my prices low. But I feel like you're doing yourself a great disservice here. If you are a business owner that's watching, I think you need to know your worth in the Empress energy of whatever product or service here you provide. You need to make a judgment call and take one bold step forward to increasing your prices from the Five of Pentacles to the Six of Pentacles. You don't need to double them overnight, but there needs to be an increase here in what you're charging for your product or service. You're not asking for enough for what you provide. And in that respect, even though the service or product, that you provide, you're like King of Cups, you're like King of Wands, Queen of Wands, your crap here, you're really good at this. Your clients are looking at you like you're a page. Because you're coming off as a novice or someone who doesn't really have the confidence that believes in their skills or their abilities. You also are coming across as naive because you're not charging as much for your products or services. So in that respect, there's something here about working smarter and not harder. You'll be able to make the exact same amount of money you make in an 8-hour day as opposed to having to work a 16-hour day because you're charging less. And you might lose some clients, but you will make the same money, if not more, if you raise your prices. So just take one bold step forward to increase your prices. Just ever so little here. Five of Swords, 10 of Cups, 10 of Swords. Yeah, 9 of Pentacles. I think you end up more financially abundant if you do that. For others of you, you're in this relationship. It needs to go. 5, 5, 5. 10, 10. It needs to come to an end. I know you don't want it to come to an end. I get that. There's a lot of 5s here. But it needs to come to an end. Whether you're ending the third party or you're going to walk away because you were placed in a third party situation. There's something about becoming independent and autonomous that is the right direction for you. And for others of you, like I said, you're not charging enough for your product or your services. Speak your world into being. 9 of Swords to the Chariot. I almost feel like you can't hope and pray your way out of this. You can't hope and pray that my customers are going to suddenly start paying me more. Even though I'm only charging them $10 for blank, they'll love my service so much. They'll give me a tip and they'll pay me 20 instead. That's not how it works. Speak your world into being. Raise your prices. They are what they are. They're non-negotiable. You need to be more confident in the product or service that you provide. For others of you, this situation is not going to change with this person until you literally say something. You either... I always say you can't demand reciprocity in a relationship. You should never be in a position where you have to demand. You can command it. That's what an emperor empress would do, but you can't demand it. That's what a tyrant would do. If you have to give someone an ultimatum to love you or to respect you, that's not your person. Ever. I know you don't want to hear it. But I'm a Gemini, so I'm going to speak it to you. I'm going to tell you the truth based on what I've done in personal readings, collective readings, and in my own life. If you have to beg someone to love you, to treat you right, to not triangulate you, to not cheat on you, to see your worth and value, that is not your person. That's not your friend. That's not the family member you should even have in your life. Some of you need to become independent and autonomous of that person. Some of you want to, but you don't have the financial resources to. In that respect, it's time to look for another job or another creative way to make money or save money. Lots of messages here for the Libra Collective, so just take what resonates, okay? Don't force a message to fit. 9 of Swords to the Chariot. Speak your world into being. 3 of Pentacles. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you don't say anything, this won't change. Customers won't pay you more. The job won't pay you more. You won't find another job. Your person, will continue to triangulate you, or you will continue to triangulate them. Doing nothing is not the answer here. Nothing changes. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. 9 of Swords to the Chariot. Clarified King of Wands. You need to be the one to take the bold, inspired action to change this. This king is looking right at this. So whatever this has been for you, you know that it's on you. You may not like that because it might push you out of a comfort zone, but you know that. Some of you, you've gone through that already. And in that respect, you're ahead of the collective, okay? This is for the Libras that are still struggling to leave whatever or whomever this is behind. Ace of Cups. That's what's, oh God, that cat toy. That's what's waiting for you on the other side of this. Something new. 3 of Pentacles, something new, laying a new foundation. Bottom of the deck, 2 of Wands, Page of Swords, and Strength. This is, look, you're sitting in something that is toxic. There's one of those angel messages cards. I don't know which deck it is in the angel message cards. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's the messages from the universe. See if I can find it for you. Okay. If you are worried that you don't have the strength card, to move on, think of how much strength you are using to hold on. Then redirect your energy and enjoy your life again. This is not happy, whatever this is. You're not charging enough for your services, or you're being triangulated, or you're triangulating someone else, or you're at a job that just is toxic and doesn't pay you enough. That does not feel good. That is not a feel-good energy there. So you're holding on to something that's not even emotionally fulfilling. Watch for the signs. 2 of Pentacles to the 8 of Pentacles. 8 plus 2 is 10. Watch for the signs. Move in a direction of complete and total abundance. 10 of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Cups. There's an opportunity. A new job, a person. Someone is being put on your path to help you out of this. Tell me more about this here for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. I just saw Queen of Wands, Some of you, you have a person here. Could be a friend, a family member, a new love interest. Could be a new boss, business partner. Someone's being put on your path to help you out of this. One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. I also think you can't wait for them to come to you. You have to take the bold step forward. You have to look for the job. You have to ask people to help you. Friends, family, to get out of this. 9 of Cups. There's someone either in your life or someone who's about to enter your life that's going to help you get to the 9 of Cups, the Tower. Yeah, this person comes in out of the blue. 5 of Cups helps you move away from that. So, bottom of the deck, Knight of Swords. I would say if this is a job situation, I would immediately start looking for another job. I think you have one that comes in very quickly. And it's a way more emotionally satisfying and financially satisfying job. For others of you where you're being triangulated, you either have someone in your life, a friend or a family member, who can help you out of this. I would ask for the help. I think you need someone here. This is heavy for you to leave behind this individual. Maybe for some of you, you have kids with this person. That's possible. The 5 of Wands, these just look like children to me. So maybe for some of you, you have kids with this person. I would get help. You need help to move away from this. For others of you where maybe you're triangulating, there's something here about you moving towards your wish fulfillment and leaving behind whomever, whatever this is. As painful as it is, you're doing a great disservice to yourself and the 2 people that you have locked into this connection with you. Someone's going to be heartbroken. Yes, right now, everyone is. Everyone's miserable in this situation if you're triangulating. So move towards whomever is your wish fulfillment and have the 15 seconds of insane courage to let the other person go so they too can find their happiness. Because right now, the only person happy in this really is you. If you're the one triangulating, I got to be honest. Because you're having your needs met from, 2, 3, 4 people. And meanwhile, these other 2 people are scrounging for your affection and attention. They're not having their needs met at all. So there's something here about letting one go so they can find their own 9 of Cups. The way you have, apparently. And for others of you, you're clinging on to a relationship. I think at one time you thought it was your 9 of Cups. Now you're existing in it and 5 of Cups because... And look, when I say your person is breadcrumbing you, they may have another lover. They may not. They might just devote more time to hanging out with their friends or their family or work. Third party could be anything that is interfering in your connection. They play video games too much, You got to speak up. You got to speak up and address this. And if this is not fixable, then you need to have 15 seconds of insane courage to leave it. I don't want to keep, beating on the dead horse here, but you have a new beginning here. You're blocking yourself from it. Tell me more about the new beginning. Tell me more about that Ace of Wands. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Soulmate, soul bond connection. 10 of Wands. Someone that'll help you carry that burden and load. Justice. Libra, Libra, Libra. If you're sitting in this situation, you have another soulmate, soul bond connection here. I'm not telling you it's good to leave one relationship for another. But don't hold on to this out of fear that I'm never going to meet someone new. That is just not true. You have another soulmate, soul bond connection here. Let's get 3 cards of advice. For others of you, you need help getting out of that. Or maybe revamping your business, right, if you're not charging enough. In that respect, there's a friend or family member here you can ask for help. Could even maybe have to get legal advice for some of you. An accountant, an attorney, if this is business related, someone in marketing or advertising. There's someone, I'm going to read this 2 different ways. To get out of this or change this, there's someone here. Counselor, therapist, like I said, attorney, accountant, friend, family member. There's someone you could trust here. And then the second fold message is, if you're leaving behind a person, you have a new soulmate here. I wouldn't stay in a connection that's this because out of the fear of being alone. If that was the case, I would still be in my marriage and I wouldn't be with, I call him Mr. Wonderful. I wouldn't be with Mr. Wonderful today. No disrespect to my ex-husband. He's a good friend. But the relationship I have now, way different. But it required me to have 15 seconds of insane courage to leave it. 3 cards of advice here for Libra. One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. High Priestess. 2 of Wands. Strength. Use your intuition to make this decision. And don't think King of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Don't think that you don't have the courage and strength and perseverance to move forward. You absolutely know that you have it. I also want to say in that High Priestess energy, you already know everything I already said to you, and you already know that you need to leave this behind or change it or something like that. I didn't tell you anything you don't know. So rely on your intuition to create a path forward, and stop second guessing yourself that you can't do this or change this or move away from it. You have everything you need in that Strength card. You have the will, you have the determination, you have the patience, and you have the persistence. You have overcome far greater things in your life than this. You can do this like a cakewalk. This will be much easier once you speak your truth. Take your time in doing that. Create your plan. Be strategic, right? Don't leave the job till you have the next job type of thing. But this is... I just kind of see what happens if... I feel like if you don't leave, it's... I keep getting shift or be shifted. I was getting that in the beginning. I feel like if you don't leave, this situation leaves you. I don't know what that means. Maybe if you don't start raising your prices and taking your business seriously, you lose the business. I don't know. I hate to be that tarot reader, but maybe if you don't take the inspired action to leave a relationship that you're being triangulated in, and you're just like, well, I'm just going to stay and tolerate it, then your person abruptly asks for divorce or they abruptly leave you, and you're left like, oh my God, I don't have the money to start over. But you could be exiting this on your own terms in your own time if you start planning now. You know what I mean? As opposed to waiting for the other person to leave. And if you have two, one, if not both, are going to leave you. You'll end up with no one, or you'll end up with the one you didn't really want to be with to begin with. I just kind of feel like shift or be shifted. Tell me more about shift or be shifted here. One more shuffle. Thank you. Hangman, Five of Pentacles, Page of Wands. Yeah, I feel like if you don't look at this from another perspective, 'cause I think you can hang on to this, you can't. I hate to be the one to tell you that. Either you're going to discover a way to strategically abandon this, or whatever this is will be abandoning you. I think that's the perspective shift that you need here. Holding on, unfortunately, my love, is not an option. That's what I have for you, Libra. It's a tough message. Your messages have been pretty hard lately. So I send you a lot of love. I was there 5 years ago. If I could do it with no friends or family and literally start my life over from scratch at 46 years old, I'm 51 now, you can do it too. Believe me, you can do it too. With proper planning and strategy, you can do it also. Don't sit in that. You deserve that Nine of Cups. Go after it. That's what I have for you, my love. That is your new moon and Cancer reading. If it didn't resonate at all, don't be mad at me. Just check another placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. But if it did and you found it to be helpful, hopeful, inspirational, or resonated with you in some way, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. Until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Scorpio, my moon babies. Let's see what our new moon and Cancer messages are. We have Wailing Tree, Reconciliations. This is card number 59. We then have First Quarter Moon in Scorpio, Release Your Blocks. So maybe there's something here that you either want to reconcile. Now, it could be with a, person, place, or thing, obviously. Maybe you need to reconcile something so you can move forward. Let's see where we're going with this message. And then we have Night Moon. Oh, yeah, shadow work. So I kind of feel like whether you are looking to reconcile with someone or there's just something within you that you need to reconcile, like either way, there's a block here that needs to be released. But in order to release it, there's some shadow work that needs to be done. Okay, tell me more about this here for Scorpio. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Bottom of the deck, we have Page of Swords. So maybe there's some information here that is needed. Tell me more about this for Scorpio. Wailing Tree, Reconciliations, First Quarter Moon in Scorpio, Release Your Blocks, excuse me, and Night Moon, Shadow Work. What do we need to know about this? One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Wailing Tree, Reconciliations, clarified by the Three of Pentacles. So this will require some effort on our part. I say that, most of you know I'm a Scorpio moon. So there's some effort here that is needed. Release your blocks, Four of Wands. So releasing blocks is what leads to happiness, structure, stability. Almost like changing Almost like hopping a timeline if you think about the Four of Wands as an 1111 portal. Why is my throat going now? Shadow work, Eight of Wands. Oh, some type of communication maybe. Okay, Three of Pentacles clarified by Two of Wands. Four of Wands clarified, wow, 10 of Cups. So there's something here about, there's a block here that needs to be released in order to get to complete and total emotional fulfillment. Eight of Wands clarified by the Eight of Swords. Interesting. Bottom of the deck, we've got Ace of Pentacles. There's that beginning. Chariot, Cancer season. Seven of Wands. Why are we blocking this? We're blocking forward movement towards having a new beginning, a solid new beginning. Okay, that leaves Justice, Knight of Pentacles, High Priestess here at the bottom of the deck. It's almost like we know that we have to do the shadow work, or we know that there's a block that has to be released, but we don't want to do it. We don't want to put the effort into doing it, or we think it'll take too long. Okay, let's see. What is this all about? Two of Wands to the Three of Pentacles. So Two of Wands at a crossroads, at a Y point. Again, either needing to reconcile something within ourselves, because the wailing tree for me is always like maybe something has come to an end and there's grief here, right? Like when you're wailing over something, crying, there's grief here. So maybe something ended and it's like a permanent ending, right? And maybe you receive no closure, but there's something here about giving yourself closure. And so the block to the new beginning is not giving yourself closure in that respect. And you have to figure out why you're not giving yourself the closure. Why can't you reconcile this ending within yourself? And the reason why you can't reconcile is because you don't want to do the shadow work. For others of you, there's a connection in your life that has like come to an end, but there's an opportunity here to reconcile it, meaning like get back together with this person, whether they're a professional, personal, like platonic or romantic connection. But in order to be able to reconcile with this individual, we need to release our blocks. But again, in order to release our blocks, we have to do some shadow work, and we don't want to do the shadow work. We don't want to see something. Okay, tell me more about this. Two of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. Either way, effort needs to be put in on the part of the Scorpio collective. Either investing pentacle energy into reconciling the ending within ourselves so we can do shadow work, move forward, or put some pentacle energy into doing shadow work to reconcile with this person. I kind of feel like the choice is ours, but nothing changes here if we don't do the shadow work. The shadow work is our block to this. Either accepting the ending or reconciling with that individual. Bottom of the deck, Two of Pentacles. Yeah, I kind of feel like the choice is yours here. So tell me more about this Two of Wands to the Three of Pentacles for Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have the Five of Cups. We have the Six of Swords. And we have the Three of Swords. Bottom of the deck, we've got 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords, the Hangman, Five of Wands. So there's something here about an ending that has occurred and you kind of being frozen in this ending, not allowing yourself to move on from it. Perhaps this ending came without closure. And so there's this emotional dissatisfaction in the Five of Cups, this inability to move forward in the Six of Swords because we're so focused on the heartache. So for some of you, you need to reconcile this ending, meaning you need to accept it. But in order to accept it, there's some shadow work that needs to be done. Doing that shadow work releases the block, then you can reconcile the ending and you can move towards this new beginning. That new beginning, forward movement towards a new beginning is blocked. This happiness here is blocked. For others of you, there's been, it could be an ending, could be just some type of betrayal here, or I don't know, a lie, or it could be an ending, like I said, that's maybe temporary basis, and you're kind of frozen in it, unable to either like reconcile with that person. You're like resisting reconciling with that person. You're so focused on the pain that they caused you in this act of betrayal here, that you're holding on to it, and you're holding on to the grief. And therefore, as much as you want to reconcile with this person, you're not moving forward. It's almost like, well, they did this to me, so they have to come to me. Why do they have to come to you if you're the one who wants reconciliation? Like it took two people to make it, and then it took two people to break it. Then it would require two people to put it back together again. So take the message how it resonates to you. Either you had an ending with no closure in that respect. We need to, as a collective, need to find closure. For others of you, there's a separation here, or something hurtful or traumatic or painful, or some act of betrayal that took place. You do want to reconcile with the person, but you don't want to put any pentacle energy into doing it because you're so focused on the pain that you're kind of waiting for that person to come to you as opposed to reaching out to them. I hope that that is making sense. Okay, 10 of Cups and the 4 of Wands. First quarter moon in Scorpio. Release your blocks. Either way, this is what you're holding up. The happiness, emotional fulfillment. Oh God, that cat toy went off. Just scared the bejesus out of me. Okay, 4 of Wands, 10 of Cups. Tell me more about the 4 of Wands and the 10 of Cups here. Bottom of the deck, Page of Wands. Yes, I normally don't get the feeling of waiting. Some of you are waiting. You're waiting for closure, or you're waiting for the person to come back. I don't know what this is. Stubbornness, pride. You don't want to be the first one to reach out. You're afraid of being disappointed. You're afraid of being turned down. Tell me more about this. 10 of Cups to the 4 of Wands here for Scorpio. One more shuffle. Thank you. 5 of Pentacles. 10 of Wands. 7 of Swords. Bottom of the deck, 3 of Cups. This block that you have, this inability to give yourself closure, is sabotaging your ability to move forward and find happiness elsewhere. I don't know what you're holding on to. The pain, the disappointment, the resentment, the anger, the feeling of abandonment. If this is over and done with, you have to give your, I mean, technically you don't have to do anything, but if you want to move on from it and move towards this, then you need to work at giving yourself the closure. You also need to find out why you're not giving yourself the closure. It's almost like I'd rather be a victim. Please don't get mad at me. I'd rather be a victim than really look at this ending. I'll feel the ending, but I don't want to look at the ending. I don't want to confront the ending, and I don't want to have to give myself closure over the ending. If you're waiting for someone else to give you closure, you're going to be waiting probably the rest of your life. Most people who just up and leave like that and they ghost and you never ever hear from them again, you hardly ever get closure. When you do, it's like 10 years down the line. I remember dating someone. I don't know if I ever said it in one of the Scorpio readings, but I thought I was so in love with him. I don't know what I was, 20, 21, something like that. He was a Marine and fell in love over the summer. Great, passionate, romantic relationship, all of that stuff. And was supposed to meet me for a date. No show. Never showed up. Walked to his condo. I was living in Florida at the time, just a couple blocks away from one another. Never answered. Never heard from him again. The man disappeared off the face of the earth, unbeknownst to me, went to Ohio, met up with someone else, third party, went back to an ex. I had no idea. Fast forward 10 years later, maybe more like 15 years later, because I think I was 35 at the time, received a message I got on Facebook. He found me on Facebook, very early days of Facebook, and sent me a message like, oh my God, are you, and I was like, yeah, that's me. And he said, I'm so sorry for what I did. And I got the closure 10 years later. I had to give myself to closure when he did what he did. And he kind of just like absconded and left. And I moved on with my life and I met Tony and we got married. And I think this guy thought I was going to like sit around forever waiting for closure. And I kind of feel like if you don't give yourself the closure, you're going to miss out on the 4 of Wands to the 10 of Cups. You're going to miss out on this new opportunity that wants to come in right now. Chariot season wants to come in for you. And I don't know what that is, but you're sabotaging your happiness, waiting for closure from someone who's never going to give it to you. And if they do, it'll be 10 years from now. Do you want to waste a decade of your life waiting for some jerk to come back and say, sorry, this is why I left, or this is why I didn't want to be with you? Like, you don't need their why. You don't need their why. You don't need their why. For others of you, you've had this tragic fallout, ending, painful kind of separation here. I don't know, lie, betrayal. I don't know what took place here. And you want to reconcile with the person. You really believe this person is your 10 of Cups and your 4 of Wands, and you see the whole thing with this person, marriage and whatever, higher level of commitment, the whole thing. But you don't want to reach out to the person. You kind of are sitting here in victim mentality. Sorry, don't get mad. Well, that person's the one who did that, so now they're going to have to come to me. Who says? Again, takes two people to make it, break it, two people to put it back together again. So however this is resonating for you, there's some shadow work here that needs to be done about why you're not giving yourself the reconciliation you need, the closure you need so you can move on. And for others of you, there's shadow work here involved. Why aren't you reaching out to this person to try to mend this relationship that you're clearly still holding on to, as opposed to waiting for them to come to you? Just take the messages how they resonate. Eight of Swords to the Eight of Wands. So for some of you, you're unable to move forward, like I said, because you're trapped in your thought about this ending and the lack of closure. For others of you, you want to move forward with this person, but you don't want to do anything to reach out to them or to be vulnerable to connect with them again. Make sure that mic is on. It is. The Eight of Swords is an interesting card for me. The eight of Swords, Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords, that's Gemini energy. So that's, you know, mashed potato mind. That's monkey brain. We get caught up in all of the negative what ifs. There's a video on YouTube. I don't know who does it. This guy's got like millions and millions of subscribers. But it kind of gives me the idea of the Eight of Swords. So there's this video of this man. He's got like a white piece of paper or a poster board, something like that. And he puts a black ant on the piece of paper. And the black ant's just sitting there. And then with a black marker, he draws a circle around the ant. And the ant walks up, you know, crawls, whatever, walks up to the edge of the black circle and doesn't cross it. It's amazing. And no matter like how much smaller and smaller he makes a circle, the ant just kind of restricts itself. And that's kind of what the Eight of Swords is. It's an imaginary block that we have. It's not real. The ant can cross over that black marker line anytime they want. But it sort of self-imprisons itself into thinking, I have to stay here or I'm confined to this. So it gives me the feeling of the Eight of Swords. In that video also is the man puts a spider on the same like piece of paper, not with the ant, just a spider by itself. And he does the same thing, draws the circle like around the spider. And the spider, same thing, goes up to the edge and won't walk over the edge. Is seeing it as a visual barrier, right? Because it's a different shade or different color than the paper. So it's entrapping itself. But then there's another spider that he puts down on the table, and instead of drawing a circle around it, he just draws lines. So as the spider moves, he draws one line. The spider comes to it and he stops. He goes another direction. The guy draws another line. The spider's like, oh crap. So then he goes another direction and the guy draws the line and the spider's like, F it. And he just kind of blows right through it. After that moment and that experience, that spider is just going. And the guy keeps drawing lines in front of it and the spider keeps crossing it. Because once it broke out of the fake jail that it thought it was in, the fake imprisonment, it realized that those lines were obstacles or challenges that didn't really exist. The barricade, the wall was in its head. The restriction was in its head. And the spider learns very quickly that the restriction is just a figment of its imagination, of its fears. It doesn't really exist. It's just a line. So that's kind of what the Eight of Swords card is here. So some of you are trapped in this, mentally, but it's not real. I hate to say that to you. It's not like what you're feeling or thinking isn't real, but it's a perceived trap. It's a perceived jail cell of negative thinking that you can free yourself from at any moment. You can move forward from this at any moment. First, we have to figure out, why are you trapped in this? What is the shadow work here for the Scorpio Collective? This is going to be big because there's so many of you watching, and obviously blocks and challenges and shadow work are different for all of you, for all of us, but let's see if we can get a little info on this. What is this block or challenge? What is the shadow work? What is the shadow work here? Tell me more about this. Eight of Swords to the Eight of Wands. One more shuffle. Thank you. Eight of Swords to the Eight of Wands. Nine of Cups. Ace of Cups, which 9 plus Ace is the 10. The Magician. Bottom of the deck, Empress. Interesting. Card number 3. And we kind of start that off with that 3 of Pentacles. Same Roman numerals here on the cards. There is some, okay, so for some of you, because this connection did not work out, right? It's completely done. It's over with. Like, there's no going back. You don't want to go back. But you're sort of sabotaging the new beginning because you don't want to give yourself the closure. Some of you don't want to give yourself the closure because subconsciously, don't get mad at me, subconsciously, once this is over for you, then you get to move forward towards wish fulfillment. And then you're not the victim anymore. So you use the excuse of, I can't move forward in love, or I can't find a new person, even though you're manifesting it, ironically enough. But you put no pentacle energy into giving yourself the closure and clearing the energetic space and then being vulnerable enough to go out and meet the person. So it's like, well, I'm manifesting my, whatever, soulmate, divine counterpart, new love. But I'm not going to put any pentacle energy into doing that, because if I put pentacle energy into doing that, then I have to give myself the closure, and it's far easier to be the victim. What is the shadow work there involved with needing to be the victim? There's some shadow work here required for those of you who are in a perpetual state of victimization. For others of you, you want this past person back. You're manifesting them back. This is your 10 of Cups. This is your wish fulfillment. But you don't want to make the effort to bring the person back. You just want to hope and pray that they come back to you. What is that all about? What is that all about? One more shuffle here. Thank you. Queen of Cups, there you are, whether you're masculine or feminine. 4 of Swords, 7 of Pentacles. Bottom of that, King of Cups. This is a soulmate. So whether you want to move forward and find a soulmate, or whether or not you want that past person back because you see them as a soulmate, either way, you need to put a considerable amount of time into healing this block. Again, I can't get into specifics for you. So there's a real need for you to kind of almost go into hermit mode here, Scorpio. Surprised we didn't see the Hermit card out yet. King of Cups, Ace of Wands, the Moon. There's some kind of shadow work here that is needed about why you want to stay in a state of perpetual victimization, or why you don't want to reach out to this person. I want to get 3 more cards on this for you. I hate to leave you like that. I will get advice for you at the end, and then we'll definitely look at what that new beginning there is. But what is this shadow work about? I know it's going to take you time to heal the shadow, but you don't seem to want to do it. What is that about? One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. The Empress, Strength, Queen of Pentacles, bottom of the deck, 8 of Cups, Knight of Cups, 9 of Swords, which is kind of like the 8 of Swords. I think some of you are of the belief, only take this message if it resonates for you. I think I'd said this in one of your readings in the past. Sorry, I got a poofy pillow down there. I'm kind of kicking it away. I think I said this in one of your readings at some point. You know, if we watch tarot readings enough, and I watch them, there's so many that I like. I've got a couple popped up there on my monitor from earlier. If I turn the monitor on, they would be there, that I really like and I admire, regardless of their subscriber count. But there's, for some of you, there's something here, and I'm just going to use this as an example. Like, you're watching a lot of tarot readings, and a lot of them repeat the same message of the Empress, doesn't chase. The Empress doesn't chase. The Empress attracts, whether you're masculine or feminine. Bullshit. Bullshit. The Empress goes after what she wants, because all 4 queens or kings make up the Empress or Emperor, right, if you're masculine. So the Empress and Emperor, they don't just attract, they do chase, they plot and plan, because all 4 queens and all 4 kings make them up, which includes the King and Queen of Wands. And the King and Queen of Wands have the courage and the strength and the forward vision to go after what they want with great tenacity. So some of you are of this mindset, and I don't think this has much, maybe it has something to do with the shadow work, or it could just be a secondary message for some of you. I don't chase, I attract. I'm not going to chase new love. It just has to come to me. How the hell is it going to come to you if you don't make yourself vulnerable enough to put yourself out there to meet someone? Someone just supposed to miraculously ring your doorbell? Like, you got to be honest with yourself. And if you want this person back, you can't just sit there on a self-built pedestal and be like, well, I'm going to hold myself back from reaching out to them. Okay, you're going to wait a lifetime. Or until whenever that person is ready, because that person might be sitting there doing the exact same damn thing. If the entire world was comprised of 8+ billion people who thought, I don't chase, I don't attract, we would still be rubbing 2 sticks together to make fire. Because we'd be waiting for someone to come along and invent the lighter. So someone has to take the initiative. And typically, it's the emperor and the empress. And if you think about it in terms of like the history of like the United Kingdom, and I'm not saying it's good to go around the world and conquer nations, and that's not what I'm saying, but if you look at the expansive growth of Great Britain, most of it occurred under the leadership of the empress, of the queens. No disrespect to the kings, but certainly there was substantial growth during the queens. Think of even like Queen Victoria. And she didn't just sit there and wait for lands across the world to come to her and say, hey, here's our country. Again, I'm not talking about going out and colonizing. I'm not condoning that. I'm not condemning that either. I mean, it's history, right? Can't deny it. But if you think in terms of like Queen Victoria, whether you're masculine or feminine, you're going to have to go out and get what you want here. Whether you have to go out and give yourself the closure, or you go out there and you attempt to reconcile with this person, or you go out there and you find a new person. But sometimes we get stuck in these catchphrases that tarot readers give us, and I've been guilty of that too in the past, of empresses don't attract, they chase. Who the F says so? That is such a masculine, feminine, traditional way of looking at relationships. And I like to think that an equally balanced relationship is 2 people who continually attract and chase one another. That's a healthy relationship. It's really off balance if one person has to do all the chasing. If every anniversary he's buying me a bottle of perfume and I'm not gifting him a bottle of cologne, just as an example, what the hell kind of balanced relationship is that? If he's the only one remembering birthdays and I'm not, what the hell kind of balanced relationship is that? So this whole thing of attracting and chasing, I think, could be a block for some of you, or at least for one person watching. Because no, you are capable of giving yourself closure. You are capable of contacting this person and working towards reconciliation, or you are capable of going out there and meeting a new person. So I just kind of feel like that was just a message there that had to come out for at least one of you watching. So I want to look at this new beginning, but I want to clear up some of these cards because the deck is getting pretty thin there. So I'll leave the initial cards out. So you have Ace of Pentacles, the Chariot, Cancer season, and 7 of Wands. So let's say we remove that block. Let's say we do the shadow work and we figure out why we want to sit in victim mode. Or we remove that block about why we're waiting for the person to come back around and reconcile with us as opposed to us approaching them. Or we remove that block that's preventing us from going out and meeting the new person. Let's say we remove that. We work on this, I don't know, over the course of the next 30 days or something like that. Tell me about the new. Ace of Pentacles and the Chariot. Bottom of the deck, the World. The World. You will have to give yourself closure on this. The World. You want a new beginning? You need to step forward and actually contact this person, as opposed to waiting indefinitely for them and getting caught up in mashed potato mind here of the 8 of Swords of when will I ever hear from them? 8 of Wands. You want to meet the new person and start that new cycle. That's on you to become vulnerable. I think I'd said it to Virgo like a year ago. You want to meet a new person, they're out there. But if you're sitting in your house with your windows and doors closed, there's no new person. Who the hell knows that you're single and looking? So you either have to get out there in the 3D world or create a, quality dating profile. So tell me about the new beginning here. Because I feel like if you can remove that block, it comes in within the next 30 days. What is this here for Scorpio? One more shuffle. Thank you. 7 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles. High Priestess. Tell me more about this. For some of you, this new beginning is on the precipice of you coming back together with this person. This is 2 people here embracing one another. But you need to put in the Pentacle energy to do this. And you know that. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. And if you want to move forward and meet someone new, again, you have to put the Pentacle energy to go out there and meet someone who's just as alone out in the world as you are and looking for companionship. There's Pentacle energy here required for the Scorpio collective. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know. High Priestess. Tell me more about the Ace of Pentacles here. One more shuffle. Thank you. Seven of Swords. The Emperor. The Magician. Bottom of the deck, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, Four of Pentacles, Two of Cups, Ace of Swords, Judgment, the Lovers here at the bottom of the deck. Whether this is giving yourself closure so you can move forward and meet a soulmate, whether this is you reaching out to this person to reconcile, whether this is you being vulnerable enough, you know, to get out there. I don't know what this is for you. But if you don't take the inspired action to do it, you can sit there. And again, I go back to Emperor, Empress. You can sit there and continue to manifest every new moon, every full moon, and call in the closure, call in the old person, call in the new person. All you're doing is sabotaging your manifestation if you don't actually put Pentacle energy into whatever this is. This, for most of you, it's in respect to a soulmate, soul bond connection. Yeah, Fool card. Let's get 3 cards of advice here for you. There's something here about taking the grounded, realistic, inspired action to either give yourself closure or reconnect with that person or go out there and meet a new person. Let's get 3 cards of advice, and we'll wrap up this reading for you. Bottom of the deck, Ten of Pentacles. It's going to require real effort on your part. Otherwise, you will sit in a perpetual state of 3 of Swords, 10 of Swords, etc., etc. 5 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles. And all that does is prolong you from getting to 4 of Wands, 10 of Cups. 3 cards of advice here. One more shuffle. Thank you. Ace of Wands, and that is the truth. Justice and the Knight of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, 6 of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, 5 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles shows itself again. So there's something here about you need to be the one to bring yourself, to give yourself justice in this situation. Give yourself closure, give yourself the new beginning, give yourself the passionate reconnection of reconciliation, whatever this is for you. But you need to be the one to take the inspired action to do this. Or like I said, you're just going to delay 4 of Wands to the 10 of Cups even longer. So I kind of feel like this is a multi-level or a tiered reading here for the Scorpio collective. First, you have to identify what this is for you. Giving yourself closure, reconciling with the actual individual, or moving forward and meeting someone new. The second message here is figuring out why you are stopping yourself from doing one of these 3 things that it is that you want to do. And really doing the internal shadow work to find out why are you preventing yourself from doing one of the 3 things here that you want to do. And then putting the Pentacle energy into doing that, into giving yourself closure, into reconciling with this person, into moving forward and being vulnerable and meeting a new person. I kind of think if you just sit on your hands, nothing happens. There's intense shadow work here that's needed. So figure out what this is for you. Why are you sabotaging yourself by not doing it? What is preventing you from not doing it? Because all you're doing is sabotaging your manifestation here by not doing it. That's what I have for you, Scorpio. I hope those messages were helpful to you. If you liked any of those messages, they resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Sagittarius. Let's see what your new moon and Cancer messages are. We have the Crossing, Initiation, card number 54, reduces to 9. So you're near an end. You're close to an ending here. You're crossing onto a new timeline. Oh, walking into a portal. I don't know if you could see that, but that's like a portal there. So you're close. New moon in Scorpio, go deeper. Take the lead, the moon's wisdom. So there's something here about going deeper and gathering the courage and strength you need to take the lead, the moon's wisdom, based on all the experience and knowledge that you have, to move on to a new timeline, to be bold and brave enough to move on to a new timeline. Walk into the portal, like an 11:11 portal almost. And I almost want to say, you know, Scorpio, go deeper. It's like very emotional. So it's like really going deep within. I almost want to say put all of yourself into this. I don't know why I'm being told to say that. Like you're so close to the new beginning. Just keep going. Tell me more about this here for Sag. If I called you Scorpio, I'm sorry. It just says new moon in Scorpio there. Tell me more about this here for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. One more shuffle. Thank you. The crossing, initiation, strength. I just said, like, you got to go deeper to keep going. Yeah, strength. Go deeper, clarified by the Knight of Swords. Take the lead. Two of Wands. Can't sit at the crossroads on this one. The new portal, the new decision, the new life, the new timeline is not coming to you. It's there. Again, you've got a doorway here you need to walk through. You have a portal here that you need to walk through. I don't think you need anyone's permission. The Knight of Swords. If you're waiting for a messenger, someone to come in and say, go, this is your message that's telling you to go. Strength, further clarified, Phoenix. Phoenix rising from the ashes. You need to have, I mean, technically you don't need to do anything. You have the divine gift of free will. But if you want to change the direction of your life right now, then you need to become the Phoenix rising from the ashes and be bold enough and brave enough to take the lead and to do that. You don't need anyone's permission. Knight of Swords, Five of Wands. You don't need anyone's permission to do this. Two of Wands, Six of Cups. Bottom of the deck, we've got Three of Cups, the Lovers, Three of Pentacles. That leaves the Three of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, King of Wands here to the Chariot at the bottom of the deck. I'm going to read this two different ways. For some of you, you have a connection in your life that you would like to resurrect. You'd like to get back together with this person. You would like to actively make the choice to Three of Cups, Three of Pentacles, work on this partnership, come back together, reunite with this person, with this soulmate, soul-bound connection. But you're internally conflicted about doing it because you feel like that person needs to come to you. And I don't know why that is different for all of you. But there's something here about if you want that person, you making the effort, you crossing, you walking towards them, you having the strength and courage to contact them, to reconnect with them. For others of you, you have this soulmate, soul bond connection in your life, and you're making the choice to leave it behind for whatever reason. And it's almost like before you actually leave it, it's almost like you're waiting for the person to say it's okay to go. You don't need their permission to tell you it's okay to go. If that's the direction you want to go in, then you have everything you need to hop a timeline and leave this person behind. So whether it's reconciliation or, whether it's Three of Cups or Three of Swords, I feel like the initiation, the only way that this is going to move in one direction or another is for you to take the lead and to do that. You can't wait for this person to close this connection, and you can't wait for this person to bring this connection back together again. And if you want to meet a new person, because maybe you're healed from the past person and you're interested in a new soulmate connection, then again, you need to take the initiation to put yourself out there. You can't just wait for the person to come to you. Similar message that I gave Scorpio. So tell me about the Phoenix here to the Strength card for Sag. Bottom of the deck, Seven of Wands. I feel like some of you are blocking your path forward. However this resonates for you, leaving this person behind, reconciling, meeting someone else, you're blocking yourself from this, and I don't know why that is. Tell me more about the Phoenix here and the Strength card. One more shuffle. Thank you. Justice. Queen of Wands, there you are. Two of Cups. Bottom of the deck, the Empress. So again, however this resonates for you, leaving this person, reconciling, finding a new soulmate, soul bond connection. I feel like this is justice you have to bring to yourself. You can't wait for this person to tell you to leave. You can't tell this person, you can't, I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. Maybe I should word it that way. You shouldn't wait for this person to give you permission to leave. And it's okay to go find another soulmate, soul bond. You don't need their permission. And if you want to reconcile, you shouldn't sit around and just wait for this person either. I said this to Scorpio in their reading, and I think I said it to Virgo like a year ago, and I'll say it to you too. We watch tarot readings on YouTube. I do it also. There's several that I love. But some of the readers, they get trapped in this thinking of the Empress. The Empress doesn't chase. The Empress attracts. The Empress attracts. Bullshit. The Empress embodies the best qualities of all 4 kings and all 4 queens. That includes the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. The Empress or the Emperor, depending on how you identify, has the boldness and the bravery within them to go after what they want. And if you just think back into the history of the United Kingdom, right, Great Britain, and you think about all the kings and queens, just think about the time period of Queen Victoria. And if you're not familiar with it, just look it up. It was one of the largest expansive times in the history of Great Britain. I'm not condoning colonization or any of that stuff, but the fact is the territorial acquisitions of the country grew under Queen Victoria, and she certainly did not sit there and wait for countries around the world to say, here's my country. She went out and she determined what she wanted and created a strategic plan and went for it. And so there's something here that if you want to close this out, don't wait for this person to close it out. You are capable of closing this out. You want to reconcile, you are capable of contacting this person to reconcile. And if you want to move forward and find another person, you're capable of doing that too. Because let me tell you something, if you are a single Sag and you want to attract a new soulmate, soul bond connection, and you don't go out in the 3D world, and you don't have a quality dating profile, and you're just sitting in your house with your windows and doors closed, how the hell is the Emperor going to find you? If you don't make yourself vulnerable enough and take the lead, take the action, to go out there and enter that portal of the dating world to find that person. How would they find you? So take the messages how they resonate to you, but this new beginning that you're desiring is out there for your taking, but you have to be the one to take it. 5 of Wands to the Knight of Swords. Some of you are waiting for, like I said, this person to give you the go-ahead to leave or the go-ahead to come back. You've given up your power to someone here. Wheel of Fortune. You can change this. That's your energy. That's Jupiterian energy. You can move this forward in whatever direction here it is that you want to go. But this is kind of like Dorothy at the end of The Wizard of Oz. You've had the power all along. All you have to do is take the lead. You don't have to wait for anyone here. Tell me more about this for Sag. One more shuffle here. Thank you. 5 of Wands to the Knight of Swords. 8 of Pentacles. Put in the work. Page of Wands. Discover whatever it is here that you need to learn. And 7 of Swords. Otherwise, you're going to sabotage this new beginning. Whether it is sabotaging your future, and by sabotaging, I just mean delaying, because you're waiting for this person to tell you it's okay to go. If you feel like this person has deceived you, or, King of Swords, 7 of Swords could be like a gaslighter, someone who verbally, knows how to manipulate you, and you want to break away from this person, why do you need the permission of a, dare I say, narcissist to have a new beginning? The Fool card's right behind the Fool. Why would you need the permission of the Fool to have a whole new beginning? If you want to reconcile with this person, why are you sabotaging the attempt of reconciliation by not putting in any pentacle energy to reach out to them, or to discover ways how to reconnect, or discover ways on how to heal the connection, whether that's therapy or online help, etc., etc. And if you want to meet a new person, you're sabotaging your ability to meet a new person, because you're not putting in the pentacle work to literally go out there and discover a new person. So take the messages how they resonate to you. Take the lead. 6 of Cups and the 2 of Wands. You're at this crossroad. Again, it's staying or going back, or moving forward to find someone new. I don't know. I'm so surprised here at the group of Sagittarians that I've tapped into where you have given your power away to this individual. Bottom of the deck, the Hangman, and you're waiting for them to give you the go-ahead. This is so un-Sag-like. Tell me about the 6 of Cups here to the 2 of Wands. Maybe this is learned behavior. Don't be offended at this. Maybe for some of you, it's learned behavior like from childhood. 6 of Cups maybe goes back to childhood. Like, Like if it's meant to be, it'll just be. And I know I've said it too, right? If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But there's a time and a place for what's meant to be. You know, if it's meant to be, it'll be. Sometimes we need to take the inspired action to move towards the be, whatever the be is, instead of surrendering our power to another entity. It's even like the people who manifest and they hope and pray for whatever it is that they want, but they don't actually do step 2. Step 2 of manifestation is, oh, I don't have to just hope and pray for what I want. I literally have all of I have all the resources I need, all 4 aces, to be able to co-create with the divine, to create or to go after or to attract or to chase down whatever it is that I want. Some people forget part 2. I think somewhere along the way, and for some of you it goes back to childhood, where you just kind of learned about surrendering and like what's meant to be will be. I don't even like using the word surrender anymore. Lately, I've just been saying yield, because surrender just feels like I'm completely giving up my power to some entity, whether it's a divine or another person. In this case, it seems to be another person. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm at the driver's seat of my life. I can co-create with the divine, or I can move in whatever direction I want. We're grown adults. Why are we waiting for permission to leave someone we want to leave, or to move towards someone we want to move towards? 6 of Cups to the 2 of Wands. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Because if you're waiting for someone else, you're going to be waiting at the Y point a long time. The Emperor, is that who you're waiting for? The Star. The 9 of Cups, your wish fulfillment. Bottom of deck, Sun. Pretty cut and dry reading here for you, Sag. Emperors and Empresses do not sit around and wait. They identify what it is here that they want, whatever that wish fulfillment is, and they take the inspired action in a grounded approach. And again, you got to think about it in terms of all 4 queens and all 4 kings. You identify what it is that you want. You see it very clearly. King, Queen of Swords. And you say, this is something I would really love to pursue. I would really love to have. King and Queen of Cups. And then you say, I'm going to create a very strategic and methodical plan. King and Queen of Pentacles. That will help me achieve that long-term goal. Because King, Queen of Pentacles are all about return on investment. And then I'm going to take the inspired action of the King, Queen of Wands to move in that direction. You can't wait for this wish fulfillment to come to you. You have to go after it and grab it. You have to figure out what it is and then create a strategic plan that you can then execute in a time of your choosing to acquire it. Because if you're waiting for someone to do it for you, you're going to wait your whole life. 3 cards of advice, and then we'll close out your reading. 3 cards of advice here for Sag, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Bottom of deck, Death. I would put an end to giving up my power or handing it over to someone else. That's just the advice. And transform this situation in whatever direction you want to go in. But take the lead and do it, for God's sakes. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Knight of Cups. 9 of Swords. Page of Swords. Bottom of the deck, the Empress. Emperor to the Empress. I was just telling Scorpio about the 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords. There's a video on YouTube, and I'll make it really brief. I don't know this person. I don't know his name. He's got millions and millions of subscribers. But it's a blank piece of paper, like a white piece of paper, and there's an ant on it, real live ant, black ant. And with a black marker, he draws a circle around the ant. And the ant walks up to the border and stops itself from moving forward. It's seeing the line on the paper. Its perception is that this is a wall. And as the ant is moving around the circle, the guy keeps drawing the circle smaller and smaller. And the ant begins to restrict its own movement because I can't go past that imaginary wall. It's afraid of it. It's a wall of fear. And then in the same video, then the man puts a spider on a piece of paper. And he draws a circle around the spider. And the same thing happens to the spider. He gets to the edge, and he doesn't want to cross over it. It's a perceived boundary. It's a wall. And again, making it smaller and smaller, the spider will restrict itself and confine itself in a small little place till it's like all tied up, basically, right? Figuratively speaking. And then there's another portion where, same piece of paper, puts on another spider. This time doesn't draw a circle around it. He puts lines in front of it. So the spider starts moving, and the guy puts a line. Spider gets to the line. He's like, uh-oh, there's a boundary. I can't go. Let me go in this direction. Guy draws another line. Spider's like, oh, crap. There's another line. I can't get through. Let me go in the other direction. And the guy does the third line. And at that point, the spider's like, F it. And he books. He takes the lead and he books through the line. And for the rest of the experiment, once the spider crosses the line and he keeps going, he's trying to get to the edge of the table, right? He's just going. The gentleman, the guy, keeps drawing a line. Spider goes right over it. Draws another line. Spider goes right over it. Once the spider had it within him to take the inspired lead, the courage, the conviction, all of that fire within him to say, I'm just one time, what the hell, I'm going to try to do it, right? He goes deep, gets everything he needs, gets that nerve up and crosses it. He realizes that the line on the black paper is just that. It's a line. It's not a wall. It's not an immovable object. It's basically a trap, a figment of his own imagination. Kind of like the Nine of Swords. So whatever this is for you that you think, I can't do this, I can't move on from this person, I can't reconcile with this person, I can't find another person, that mental entrapment is a figment of your own imagination. You're no different than the ant or the spider who has constricted themselves into a small space and created an imaginary wall around themselves. And if you can, Page of Swords, like that last spider, be brave enough to see it, to become enlightened. Page of Swords for me is a little enlightened page. It goes out there and acquires the knowledge and information he needs. I think you realize the Nine of Swords barrier is just a circle on a piece of paper. And then you can move forward in whatever direction it is that you want. That's your advice, to see that this restriction that you have is it's self-imposed imprisonment. You can take the lead and bust right through it. And it's not going to require much to do that. Just like that last spider. Emperor to the Empress. You meet your divine counterpart. You reconcile with your divine counterpart. Whatever it is. But this whole notion, if I have to sit back and wait for someone to make this decision for me, is very un-emperor or very un-empress-like. Time for the Sag Collective here to take the lead. That is what I have for you, Saggy. That is your new moon in Cancer message. If you like that message, it resonated with you, maybe found it to be helpful, hopeful, fun, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, my dear, I'm wishing you good luck with that situation. And as always, I'm sending you light, love, and peace. Hello, Capricorn. Let's see what your new moon in Cancer messages are. You have Fool's Embrace, Transmuting Pain, card number 22, which reduces to 4. And 4, if you think about 4 sides to a square, to a box, it's in respect to our foundation, your foundation. First quarter moon in Aries, step into your power. And the next card you have is Healing Moon, seek healing. So there's something here in respect to the foundation of your life that has changed. And in that change, there's pain here, right? There's real world pain because you're on the precipice of something new. And there's a fear here of the new. I almost want to say, don't be afraid of the new. Instead, use that pain, transmute that pain into power so you can move forward from whatever this has been for you. What is this for Capricorn? Tell me more about this. Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain. First quarter moon in Aries, step into your power. And the Healing Moon, seek healing. Oof, bottom of the deck, Ten of Swords. So some of you have had quite an ending here. And whether that ending was in relation to lies, deception, betrayal, combination of all those things. Could be financial ending, like maybe some of you abruptly lost your job. But it's been painful nonetheless. And for some of you, this ending was by choice, meaning you decided to end whatever situation, environment, or connection this is for you. And for others of you, the ending came by force, meaning it happened to you. You were abruptly fired, or someone ended a connection with you, or something like that. But regardless, it rocked your foundation. And I feel like this is an opportunity for you to step into your power and rebuild your life or reclaim your life. Tell me more about this here for a Capricorn. Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. What do they need to know about this? One more shuffle here. Thank you. Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain, clarified by the High Priestess. Step into your power, Two of Wands. Yeah, you can't sit at this crossroads waiting for like someone to rescue you or someone to be your hero. I feel like you need to be your hero. You need to step into your power and choose a direction or path you want to go on. Seek healing, clarified Three of Swords. That's the feeling I had when I saw that transmuting pain card. The High Priestess, clarified by the Three of Cups. So transmuting pain into happiness. Two of Wands, clarified by Ten of Pentacles. It's your choice if you want to move towards the Ten of Pentacles. And the Three of Swords, clarified by the King of Swords, which is 3 swords plus the 1 sword, and the King is 4 swords, which is healing. Interesting message here for you today. We then have the Five of Pentacles, we have the Tower, and we have the Lovers. And right after the Lovers card, we have the Ace of Pentacles. That leaves the Seven of Swords, Knight of Cups, Seven of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. I kind of feel, you know, these new moon and Cancer messages, and for all of them, I started with Aries. They either hit home for you or they don't. So if it's not your message, just check another placement. But for those of you where you're like, they're kind of, you know, I can resonate with that to some degree, then I'm not telling you anything you don't know. And the High Priestess energy, this is telling me that at least when it comes to this particular situation, environment, or connection, you know that on the other side of this is happiness. I just feel like you're sitting in this pain or this feeling of lack with that Five of Pentacles there for a little bit longer than maybe you need to. Now, everyone heals at their own rates, so I'm certainly not telling you to rush the healing process here. But there's a way to heal without sitting in a state of victim mentality. So on the other side of this, through this tunnel, if you will, there's a light there at the end of the tunnel. And you know this. Tell me more about this. Three of Cups to the High Priestess. Bottom of the deck, the Empress. So really stepping into your power here. Interesting how that next card is step into your power. Tell me more about the Three of Cups here to the High Priestess. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. I also have another message for someone watching. The High Priestess is also an individual who has a wealth of knowledge. I feel like, well, let me go back to that. It's the energy of an individual who has a wealth of knowledge about something, but they keep it to themselves. The High Priestess does not speak. And I think for a lot of you, or at least one person who's watching, all of this pain that you have from this ending, I feel like you internalize it. To the world, you're the Three of Cups. You walk into work with a smile on your face. You connect with people, and you always try to be jovial and happy. But for some of you, there's a pain radiating on the inside that if the rest of the world were to look at you, they would not even know that it exists. For others of you, you know that on the other side of this pain, there's happiness, there's pleasure. Tell me more about this now that that secondary message came through. One more shuffle. Thank you. Three of Cups to the High Priestess, clarified by Two of Cups, Five of Cups, Four Swords. More healing. I had called that card there when I had said 3 plus the 1 is the 4. So for most of you, this is in regards to a soulmate connection, whether that's with a professional colleague or boss, a platonic connection like a friend or a family member, or with a lover like a romantic partner. There's this feeling within you. There's so much pain and there's so much disappointment here and there's so much heartache. And yet, you, like I said, you show up to the rest of the world, they would never even know what you're experiencing. So it's almost like when we saw that Seven of Swords card there at the bottom of the deck, it's almost like you're the one who wears a mask. Even this individual, which kind of looks like a fly here, but the way it's holding itself, it's like you hold it in. You hold this pain in. For others of you, you know that when you are through the process of healing from whatever pain this has been for you, the loss of these 3 cups, that connection, that 3 of Cups, you know, intuitively you know that on the other side of that is another soulmate, soul bond connection waiting for you because those 2 cups are right here. So take it how it resonates to you. Some of you are internalizing the pain from this and hiding it from the world. And for others of you, you're having difficulty coping with this ending of this partnership, of this connection, even though you know intuitively that there's another partnership out there waiting for you. 10 of Pentacles to the 2 of Wands. I feel like regardless of what category you're in here, that you're at, whether you're internalizing or you know that there's another soulmate, soul bond connection out there for you, I feel like it's yours for the taking. But you're standing here at this crossroads, maybe afraid of stepping into your power to go in a different direction. And I don't know why that is for some of you. Maybe you're waiting for this past person to come back around, to apologize, to ask for your forgiveness, to want to reconcile, to give you closure. You know, different for all of you. For others of you, you don't want this past soulmate back, whether that's a friend, family member, or lover. But you're afraid to move forward and find other connections in your life because the past has shown you that when you thought it was going good, 2 cups, my soulmate connection, 3 cups, celebrating, I ended up in the 5 of cups, disappointment and heartache and loss. So you're at this Y point now, Capricorn. I feel like the connection or type of connections you want are out there, but you're very hesitant to move towards it, which I'm quite surprised because you are represented in tarot by the devil. And the devil is Saturn in Capricorn, which speaks about the energy of an individual that when they are obsessed with success, with achieving or attaining a particular goal, they go full throttle, full force into it. If you've ever known a Capricorn to go on a diet program, they go full force until they shed the last pound. High vibration Capricorn. Same thing if it comes to working out or learning a new skill or getting a job. Below vibe Capricorn will be afraid of that or will pursue it for toxic reasons. So you have the power and the capability to move towards this, to transmute that pain and move forward. Tell me more about this here for Capricorn. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. I kind of feel you do need to step into your power. It says first quarter moon in Aries. It really should say first quarter moon in Capricorn because stepping into your power is the high vibe of that devil card in tarot, which is being obsessed with success. Ace of Swords. And that, my friend, is the truth. Whenever I see something and I see an ace automatically following it, I know that I'm right on point with the message I'm receiving. So Ace of Swords, 7 of Cups. There are other soulmate, soul bond connections, options, and choices available to you out there. Again, it's yours for the taking. Knight of Cups, but you literally need to get on the horse and move towards it. And here's the stumbling issue that some of you are having. Notice in this deck, the Knight is looking back. You're looking back towards this. You're either waiting for this person to come back around. In that respect, you're not watching where you're going. And you're also not full throttle going because this is the 3rd slowest Knight in the deck. I mean, slower than this is the Knight of Pentacles, which is like no movement whatsoever. So for some of you, you're not moving as fast as you want towards other soulmate, soul bond connections because you keep looking back, waiting for that person to return. Or you're waiting for closure, or you're not over the pain. But this looking back into the past is preventing you from moving forward. You know, if you think about this as a horse race, the jockey that wins, the horse that wins, they've got their eye on the prize. Very Saturn in Capricorn, very Saturnian energy there of like, I will conquer this, I will win this race, and their eyes on the prize, and they are moving in motion with the horse. But the jockey that loses the race is the jockey that's continually looking back to see who's behind them. It's missing the mark. It's not keeping your eye on the prize. Interesting message here for Capricorn. So seek healing. King of Swords to the 3 of Swords. It's possible for some of you, this past heartache goes way back. You never quite healed from it. It's hard for you to move forward in your life because you're still holding on to the pain and the heartache of something that happened 1 year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20, 30 years ago. You think you've moved on, but you're actually not as far as you should be on your path because you keep looking back. It's almost like you keep waiting for this person to apologize or to make amends or to own up to what they did. if this is not past pain and this is something more current, some of you may actually need the help of someone else, like a counselor or a therapist, to help you navigate this pain. Tell me more about the King of Swords here to the Three of Swords for Capricorn. I'll take the card that came out face up. We have the Two of Pentacles. Tell me more about this, please, for Capricorn. One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. Oh, it's going to be on a loop. Seven of Swords. It will be on a loop. The Devil card. There you are. Nine of Cups. So, for some of you, it may require outside intervention to help you. If this is in regards to your finances, maybe, whether that is like obtaining a job or reconciling your finances, or maybe in respect to inheritance, then that King of Swords could be an accountant or an estate attorney or the new employer that you need to seek out to help you with your financial healing. For others of you, where this is a past person, you are on this negative loop, replaying the Seven of Swords over and over again that this person did to you. The lies, the betrayal, the deception, the heartache, all of it. Because in that Seven of Swords, we have 5 swords and we have 2 swords. So it's almost like blocking your path forward in the Two of Swords, kind of Two of Wands feeling, because you're mentally stuck in the Five of Swords of what transpired. So that King of Swords is a number of different types of individuals, depending on what it is here that you're healing or need to be healed from. So yeah, for some of you, you're waiting for a past person to make amends or give you closure. You'll be on this negative loop forever waiting for that person. And in fact, you are sabotaging your forward movement. So in that respect, you might need a counselor or a therapist. There's no shame in that. In fact, it's being very emboldened and brave, very much in your power to seek that healing out from a third party. For others of you, like I said, you're currently having this issue and you need this person to help you. Accountant, attorney, therapist. And if it's financial, it's you then stepping into your power to go out there and find the job you need, or to acquire the skills that you need, or expand upon the skills that you need to help you, in respect to maybe financial healing. So whatever this is for you, there's help out there, is basically the message. But you need to take the inspired action to seek it out so you can move forward and transmute that pain into power. Your power is your new beginning. Whether that's a new job or relationships, etc. Five of Pentacles to the Tower. Nine of Cups. Five of Pentacles to the Tower. I feel like the only person at the end of the day, even though there's assistance here from an outside source, that can really break you out of this lack mindset is you. And I think that's what you need to radically accept here. You don't need this person to give you closure. You don't need this person to give you permission. You don't need this past person to own up to what they did or how they hurt you. It would be like getting fired from a job and not moving forward to find a new job because you're still waiting for the former employer to apologize. You'll be on an endless loop waiting for that. In the meantime, your finances will dwindle. So there's a shocking revelation here for the Capricorn collective. I almost said Cancerian, but what I meant to say was during Cancer season, specifically this new moon in Cancer on June 25th, of this radical revelation that I'm the only one that can get me out of the Five of Pentacles, whether that is emotional lack, financial lack, mental lack. I'm the only one who can make that choice. Lover's card being the ultimate choice, to break myself out of that so I can have this new beginning. Tell me more about the new beginning, and then we'll get 3 cards of advice and wrap up your reading. Tell me more about that Ace of Pentacles. I feel like that's waiting for you on the other side of this. But you have to work through this first. And some of you have already done it. But this is specifically for a group of you who you haven't yet. And maybe you think you have, but if all you do is go back and talk about this person, or all you do is sit in victim mentality, it's really hard to move forward. It's a heavy energy. I can only imagine what you're experiencing or have experienced. Tell me about the new beginning here. Ace of Pentacles. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Ace of Pentacles, clarified by the Hangman. A couple of different messages on that. Eight of Pentacles, Five of Wands, bottom of the deck, Page of Wands. So, message number one. That new beginning is all tied up. It's almost elusive to you right now. You can't see it. You intuitively know it's there. You know that other soulmate, soul bond connection is out there, the other job. But that Ace of Pentacles is literally floating in air, suspended, until you decide to step into your power and make the effort to heal from this and move towards that. You literally have to be the one to do the pentacle work here in that Eight of Pentacles energy. For others of you, the Hangman energy could talk about seeing things from a different perspective. So it could be seeing what transpired back there, like if this is old hurt, seeing it as, I would not be the person I am today had I not experienced that. Almost seeing the ending as a blessing in disguise, as opposed to holding on to the pain and the hurt and the anger, transmuting that old pain and hurt and anger into something new, literally putting it to work for yourself. For others of you, this is working to free yourself from an existing, that's a new message that just came through, an existing situation that has you in this. Maybe you're afraid to leave a current connection in your life that actually is Three of Swords, Five of Cups, you know, Seven of Swords, Ten of Swords. I mean, it could be for one of you watching. You are entangled in that Hangman energy in a highly deceptive, highly toxic, highly emotionally unfulfilling connection in your life. And it's almost like you would rather stay in the Five of Pentacles, in this connection that doesn't really feed your soul the way it should, because you're afraid that the Ten of Pentacles is elusive, or will be elusive to you if you make the radical decision to leave this person behind, although your intuition is telling you there's a better soulmate, soul bond connection out there for you. So take the messages how they resonate to you. Let's get three cards of advice here. Three cards of advice here for Capricorn. Bottom of that, Queen of Wands, really stepping into your power, whether you're masculine or feminine, to give yourself that closure so you can move on, to step into your power and obtain the help you need to move on from that, or to acquire the new job, or get a handle on your finances, or untangle yourself from a current, you know, toxic situation. I feel like the power resides in you. There is no hero coming for the Capricorn collective, or any sign for that matter. You get to a point in your life where you need to become your own hero. And this is it, my darling. Let's get three cards of advice here for Capricorn. One more shuffle. Thank you. Justice. Sometimes in life, oftentimes in life, we go through these situations or these connections or these experiences that to us just seem very unjust and very unfair. And we can sit in that lack mentality of Five of Cups, Five of Pentacles forever, if we choose to. Sometimes we get no closure. Sometimes we have to be our own closure. Sometimes we have to hold that Ace of Swords, that sword of truth, and see that connection for what it was, for what it truly was, and transmute that pain. Give ourselves the closure in order to move forward. Temperance. Temperance is a card of alchemy. Transmuting that pain into power. Four of Wands. So you can step into a new portal that leads you to happiness, that restructures your life in some way. So interesting that we're ending with the Four of Wands. We started off with card number 22, and if you remember, I said that reduces to the number 4. And if you think about a square of 4 walls, that's our structure, right? That's our stability. So it's very much like the Four of Wands. So you have a choice here, Capricorn. You can sit in this forever, cry yourself to sleep, show up to the rest of the world wearing a mask like everything is fine. Or you can alchemize, give yourself this closure, give yourself the clarity, and step into your power to transmute that pain into a new foundation, a new timeline. And give yourself a shot at happiness. Give yourself a shot of happiness. Page of Pentacles, the World, and the Strength card. Acquiring the assistance, the knowledge, the information you need to put this to bed once and for all so you can end it, World card, and move forward. And I think you, of all of the signs, because you're represented by the Devil card in Tarot, I think you have everything you need to do this because you're ruled by Saturn. And if you set your mind to it, high vibe Capricorn, you can conquer this and you can transmute this pain and you can move forward in your life and give birth. Queen of Pentacles is holding a baby here. Give birth to an entirely new you and an entirely new life path, literally jumping a timeline here. Or you could choose to sit in this for as long as you want, or you can begin to learn how to transmute it and move forward. That's what I have for you, Capricorn. That is your new moon in Cancer reading. If you like those messages, if they've resonated with you, if you found them to be helpful or maybe even hopeful, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, my friends, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Aquarius. Let's see what your new moon in Cancer messages are. We have Eyes of the Eagle, rising above the fray. Card number 18, 1 plus 8 is 9. So I think you're close to an ending here. Maybe you're seeing things differently as well. You then have first quarter moon in Capricorn, unleash your kindest self. This person is alone here. So maybe rising above the fray on your own. Doesn't mean you don't have other people in your life. And unleashing your kindest self to yourself. Moon maybe, intuition. Okay, let's see where we're going with this message. The intuition card is interesting for me. It has two horses on it, one facing different directions. Actually, they have wings. Maybe it's Pegasus, but the feeling that I get here is almost like the Chariot. Maybe not knowing what direction to go in. Therefore, you'll need your intuition. All right, let's see where we go with this message. Tell me more about this here for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Pentacles. Interesting, round pentacle. And then we have that round circle that's literally around the eye of the eagle here. So I kind of feel like you have your eye on this new beginning. And perhaps you're experiencing some difficulty moving towards the new beginning. Tell me more about this here for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Eyes of the Eagle, rising above the fray. Rising above the fray would be getting a more expansive view of the entire situation or opportunity. Almost King of Wands, Queen of Wands feeling. Tell me more about this here for Aquarius. One more shuffle. Thank you. Eyes of the Eagle, rising above the fray, clarified by the moon. New moon in Cancer on the 25th of this month. Unleash your kindest self. 10 of Pentacles. Maybe it's time to drop some of these burdens as an act of love, as an act of self-love. Intuition, clarified by 4 of Pentacles. I get the feeling some of you are holding yourselves back from moving forward because you're not accessing your intuition. The 4 of Pentacles card for me is one of the least intuitive cards in tarot. The Moon card, clarified by the 7 of Swords. So these doubts, fears, and anxieties are almost controlling your path forward or stifling your path forward. I almost want to say the path forward is not as scary as you think it is. And if you were to rise above the fray and get a better perspective on it, kind of be able to look at this from above, you'd probably realize it's the biggest act of self-love to walk away from whatever or whomever this is. 10 of Wands, clarified by 2 of Wands. 4 of Pentacles, clarified by the Emperor. Bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Swords, the 3 of Swords, and the Sun. And there's that Ace of Pentacles again. And look at, even in the Hermit card, it's an individual sitting above on the mountainside looking out. So there's definitely something here about a new direction the Aquarius collective wants to take. Could be in your professional life, regarding your platonic connections, like with friends, family, neighbors, colleagues. Could be in respect to love. But these doubts, fears, and insecurities are preventing you from moving forward, from an ending or a perceived ending. 7 of Swords, 3 of Swords would be 10 Swords. But it's almost like you're sabotaging your path forward. You're allowing the doubts and fears and anxieties here and your insecurities to get the better of you. I feel like this is not your burden to carry. And you're sitting here at this Y point, unable to move forward because of all of this emotional baggage that you're carrying. And in that Emperor energy, I mean, you possess the best qualities of all 4 kings and all 4 queens. So you can move forward. And yet you're holding yourself back. On the other side of this heartache is happiness and financial abundance. And yet you're holding yourself back from moving towards it. Tell me why the 7 of Swords to the Moon card is here. What is this all about? Bottom of the deck, the High Priestess, which is your intuition, which you're failing to listen to. Tell me more about this here for Aquarius. One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. 6 of Cups, 7 of Wands, 8 of Cups. Bottom of the deck, the Tower. Some of you are afraid to walk away. I have 2 messages here. Some of you are afraid to walk away from a soulmate, soul bond connection, professional, platonic, or romantic. You're afraid to put up some walls and put up some boundaries and emotionally disconnect and walk away. And that Tower moment is like, I don't want to be the one to pull the trigger on that, figuratively speaking. I don't want to be the one to do that. It would hurt like hell. Why should I cause myself unnecessary pain? For others of you, you have an alternative here. You don't have to walk away from this individual. I mean, if this is a highly toxic, abusive relationship, that's different. But maybe there's a way to see this connection differently. Maybe instead of walking away, which would sabotage this connection, end it for good, what you actually need to do is to learn how to exist in it without emotionally depleting yourself. And the best way to do that is to create healthy boundaries. My grandfather used to say, fences make for good neighbors. I believe boundaries make for good relationships. So take the message how it resonates to you. For some of you, you are in a highly toxic connection. There's been lies or deception or betrayal here. Backstabbing, 7 plus 3, 10 of Swords. It's incredibly burdensome for you. Maybe you carry the load of this relationship. You know, any progress forward is on your shoulders. And while you can take the inspired action to walk away from this person, you don't want to be the one to do that. Tower, Knight of Cups, 9 of Cups, and the Fool card. I don't want to be the one to do that, even though I could do that. And with that Knight of Cups, I could take my cup of love, and move towards wish fulfillment and get to the 10 of Cups and have this whole new beginning. But I don't want to be the one to end this relationship, even though it would be the greatest act of self-love for you to do that. For others of you, you can see this from a different perspective. And let me say, that is provided this is not a highly toxic, abusive relationship. But maybe it's just a relationship where it has, and I'm not putting 100% of the onus on you, but maybe the relationship is where it is today because part of the reason is that you did not establish good boundaries with this individual. And now you feel like, well, there's nothing else for me to do but walk away. But again, if it's not highly abusive, toxic, then maybe there's a different way to approach this connection where you can emotionally give to it, but not at the point of your own expense. Instead of giving 8 cups, you give 6. Maybe you need to establish some boundaries with this individual. Maybe part of the sabotaging that occurred here in the connection was partly your fault. I always say it takes 2 people to make it, 2 people to break it. And maybe for some of you, it's because you didn't have healthy boundaries. Again, not putting 100% of the blame on you, but there is definitely something here about creating boundaries, healthy boundaries. So take the message how it resonates to you. Some of you need to leave this highly toxic relationship. For others of you, it's not so much that it's toxic. I guess in a way it is, but some of that is because you don't have healthy boundaries within it, or you give too much to it. And you say, well, if this person loves me, they wouldn't take advantage of it, but people take what you give them. You ever go to Costco or one of those stores, I don't know where you live in the world, and they give out free samples? Most people take them. I don't. I have a whole OCD thing with germs, but most people take the sample. If you offer them the sample, they take the food sample. So this person or these people are going to continue taking whatever it is that you give them. So you don't have to kick your kids out or divorce your spouse or whatever this is, or quit your job. But maybe there's a need here to find a balance between how much you emotionally invest in them and how much you emotionally invest in you, and then create some boundaries that they don't cross and you don't cross. Two of Wands to the Ten of Wands. Unleash your kindest self. Bottom of the deck, Six of Pentacles. I was just talking about equal balance, equal give and take. So maybe, for some of you, it would be a huge act of self-love, a gift to yourself to walk away from this. And for others of you, huge act of self-love to stay in it, but to learn how to exist in it without being toxically, I don't think that's a word. Maybe it is. How to exist in it without suffering from toxic codependency. Tell me more about this here for Aquarius. One more shuffle. Thank you. Two of Wands to the Ten of Wands. Hangman. Yeah, maybe there's a need here to see this from a different perspective. Three of Cups. Maybe you don't need to leave this relationship after all. Six of Swords. Maybe the lesson here is to find the path forward together with this person, this friend, this business colleague, this lover. But to do the relationship differently moving forward. So there's a sharing of the responsibility of the connection, and there's a respect for healthy boundaries. This is almost like if you look at the person with the Six of Swords, they have these birds moving them forward. The birds are tied to the boat, these same birds. Maybe it's almost like taming the birds, taming the self-sabotage behavior. The Emperor to the Four of Pentacles to the Intuition card. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. The Hierophant fell out of the deck, followed by Judgment and the Devil. Got some, wow, Death card here. Death card, Page of Cups, King of Swords. What's your energy? Maybe there was a spiritual lesson. Yes, for some of you, you need to make the judgment call to leave a highly, highly toxic connection in your life. And it's toxic not because I say it is, but because intuitively you know it is. And you're holding yourselves back from moving forward. For others of you, you're playing a role in this connection being toxic because you're not practicing, you're not establishing, practicing, or maintaining healthy boundaries, or maybe respecting your person's boundaries. Could go that way as well. So maybe there's a way here to keep this connection, but eradicate the toxicity within it. That would take two people to do that. Again, the onus of fixing whatever this is can't be on one person. So you have a choice here, and I do feel the choice is yours. You can completely end this connection, Death card, and then heal from it and move forward and open your heart slowly back up to love in a new direction. Or you could rebirth, start from scratch, Page of Cups level with this connection, and establish strong boundaries and equal give and take. And as long as it's reciprocal, that would enable you to rebirth it and not have to walk away from it. Ace of Swords, Three of Swords, the Sun card. You can see this heartache for what it is if it's a toxic connection and move on from it and move towards your happiness. Or you could see the role you played in this, and provided you have a willing counterpart here, you could Three Swords plus the Ace, Four Swords, heal this connection. And it could be happier and thriving in the future. But again, that would take two people to do that. So take the messages how they resonate to you, and the advice here, how they resonate to you. Let's get 3 cards of advice here. 4 of Cups. I feel like sitting around and doing nothing will not fix this. Like if you're in a toxic connection and you don't leave, you stay in it, it's not going to get better. If you're in a relationship that's not so much toxic, but there's codependency or avoidant attachment style or anxious attachment styles here at play, then if you understand it and they understand it and the two of you can heal it together, then again, it's a coming together towards happiness. But again, the feeling here is doing nothing is not an option, or at least will not yield a different result. 3 cards of advice here for Aquarius, then we will close out your reading, my darling. One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. Knight of Cups, 10 of Swords, 2 of Cups. It's your choice. Bottom of deck, Ace of Pentacles shows itself again. It's your choice. You can extend an offer of love to this person and say, the way we did this connection, 10 of Swords, we need to end it. But the 10 of Swords card, astrologically speaking, is the Sun in Gemini. So it's a new dawn, it's a new day. You learned from this, I learned from this. I value this connection, you value this connection. And let's move towards the 10 of Cups together, because that's what the Sun card is. 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, all rolled into one. So we take the 8 cups that I would have lost, 2 cups. I realize I don't want to lose you after all. And we come together to redo this connection from scratch, Ace of Pentacles. And we heal it together and we move towards happiness together. Or if it's highly toxic, abusive, etc., then this would be you saying, I deserve more. So I'm going to close this connection. And when I heal, because we have 4 swords here, then I'll be ready to open myself up to love again. So take those messages, how they resonate to you. But I think the overall message here is doing nothing won't yield any results. It won't change the current dynamic of the connection if you want to keep it. And if you want to leave it, I don't feel like this other person is going to leave it. I feel like you need to leave it. So it's up to you. You'll need to tap into your intuition to decide whether or not this is a connection you want to save and how the two of you can come together to save it, or whether it's one you really need to leave. And in that respect, then you need to be the one to leave it, because as long as you're giving to it, this person's just going to continue to take. They're not leaving. So in that respect, it would be up to you. Either way, you need to see this from a different perspective. Rise above the fray, rise above all the noise here, and decide what is the biggest act of self-love you can do for yourself. Leave this connection or heal it. The choice is yours. That's what I have for you, Aquarius. That is your full moon. I'm sorry, your new moon in Cancer message. If you like that message, it resonates with you, you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Pisces. Let's see what your new moon in Cancer messages are. Repairing the veil, forgiveness. This is card number 45. Reduce this to 9. So it's almost like your new beginning. Whether you're currently experiencing it or on the precipice of it, this transformation in your life, there's a butterfly here, is dependent on whether or not you can forgive someone from the past and also forgive yourself. First quarter moon in Taurus, release control. Ring around the moon, protection. Let's see where we're going with this message. I kind of want to say that whatever this is for you, whether it ended in the past, multiple things here ended in the past, or it's ending now, I feel like you are protected from whomever, whatever this is. It wasn't meant to go the distance. So 2 very distinct messages here for the Piscean collective. If it ended in the past or it's ending now, and you experienced or you are experiencing the ending, there's something here to realize that didn't work out for me and it wasn't supposed to. I was divinely protected from that situation, environment, or connection. For others of you, you're trying to hold on to something that you don't want to let go of. Taurus energy, very stubborn, going to hold on to the back of that bumper. But in fact, the opposite here needs to happen. You need to release control and understand that the ending is happening because you are protected. So 2 very distinct messages here for the Piscean collective. Tell me more about this here for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Bottom of the deck, strength. So either way, it would take strength, right? It would take strength to realize, okay, I'm going to forgive that SOB for whatever he did or she did. And understand that it was divinely orchestrated to happen that way, and I was protected. That's why that connection or whatever didn't work out the way I thought it should. And for others of you, have the strength to release control, because the strength card is a quiet strength. She's not beating the lion here into submission. She's not dominating it. She's commanding it. It's a softer strength. So in that respect, some of you need to release control, let go of the back of the bumper, and forgive the car for driving away. And know that it had to drive away because you were protected. Because at any moment, that car was going to go in reverse and run you over, figuratively speaking. Tell me more about this here for Pisces. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Repairing the veil, forgiveness, clarified by the Fool. Your new beginning, whether you're on it or you're close to it, is dependent upon whether or not you can forgive that current person or that past person. You have to forgive the ending. I mean, you don't have to do anything, but it will affect your new beginning here. Release control. 8 of Pentacles. Redirect your energy into something else. I also think releasing control is almost an act of self-mastery. It's like you would be mastering yourself, going to the next level, becoming like Pisces 2.0. Protection. The devil can't make it up. So you are protected from something that is highly toxic that you've been bonded to, either in the past or right now. This is what you're holding on to. The Fool, further clarified by the High Priestess. 8 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands. The Devil, the Emperor. Bottom of the deck, 9 of Cups, King of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. There's your new beginning. Archangel Michael is here with you. So let's get into this message. The High Priestess is the energy of an individual who holds all the secrets, right? That's that rolled scroll on her lap. In some decks, it's portrayed as a book. So if you actually look up the history of the High Priestess, she has the knowledge of the universe. And it's a quiet power. Again, remember that strength card. It's a quiet power. She doesn't go around bragging that she has all of this knowledge. She keeps it to herself. She doesn't really talk much. So for some of you where you need to forgive this past person, it's not you calling this person up or going to their house or place of business and saying, listen, I'm on the precipice of a new beginning in my life, and I just want to thank you for being the toxic SOB you are, because I'm actually looking back now and realizing I learned a lot of valuable lessons and I was protected from you. It's a quiet forgiveness. It's saying it to yourself. It's releasing this person, really releasing them by forgiving them. It's not having to say it to the person directly. It's saying it to yourself. Releasing control. 8 of Pentacles to the 10 of Wands. This person, if they have already exited your life, they are still impacting you energetically or emotionally, psychologically, maybe even hindering your finances. You still carry the burden of that toxic connection. And interestingly enough, at the tips of some of these wands that this individual is carrying is new life. There are roses and leaves that are trying to grow. So there's something new here in your life that's trying to grow, and yet it's very difficult for you to move in this new direction, or if you're currently in the new direction, because you're still emotionally or spiritually maybe even connected to this person. So there's something here about putting in the work to release that person's control over you. Aha. Cord cutting, meditation, new moon ritual. We have a full moon in Capricorn. That happens to be Capricorn energy on July 10th. So maybe in the new moon in Cancer, you want to call in the new to help you overcome this. And then in the full moon in Capricorn, you could fully release this energy, this individual who still has some type of control on you. And I feel like releasing this person also comes with forgiving them. But again, it's a quiet forgiveness. It's not one that you have to say to them. For others of you, you're currently in that connection. And there's a need here to let go of the back of the bumper. It is stopping you from, one, self-mastering yourself and learning this lesson so you can spiritually ascend, right? Become Pisces 2.0. For others of you, it's a complete block to your new beginning. I mean, you're so busy looking down and holding the burden, carrying the burden of this current connection, you can't even see your path forward, and you're actually getting farther and farther away from where you need to be. You should be headed in the other direction. that direction. So you've been divinely protected here by this, from this toxic energy. Could be masculine, could be feminine. But this individual had excessive toxic traits. You may have seen them as a divine masculine or divine feminine. And maybe they are for someone else, or maybe they will be one day for someone else. But they weren't for you. For you, they were a karmic lesson. And the fact that that connection didn't work out or isn't working out, and that could be representative of multiple lovers in your past. But there's a need here to see they weren't supposed to work out. I was never supposed to be bonded to someone who was toxic. So it's looking at that past connection or those past connections and saying, thank God they didn't work out. Tell me more about this Emperor to the Devil. Tell me more about this. I get the feeling here that this individual or these individuals were very cruel, cold underneath the Emperor robe. I feel like this person put on a good show, or maybe currently puts on a good show to the public, like they're a stand-up person or they have their crap together. But underneath, they're wearing a suit of armor. This person's always ready to go to battle. Their Devil to the Emperor could be someone who flies off the handle, very emotionally charged, emotionally erratic. They're always ready to go to war. Very combative individual. So they're not very soft or loving. They wear a very hard exterior. It's almost like they even prevent people from loving them, from getting too close to love them. It's also like you don't really know this person. This person wears a costume. You never really knew who this person was. Interesting message there. Tell me more about the Emperor to the Devil here for Pisces. One more shuffle. Thank you. King of Wands, yeah, to the outside world, they look good, they smell good, they're well known, they have an established job, they could be a business owner, they're highly attractive, they seem like a go-getter, but you got to see the other side of them because look, in this deck, the King of Wands is wearing a armor also. They're both wearing metal-plated armor. That's the side of them you got to see that no one else did. Two of Cups. This was a karmic connection. That's hard. It's hard to accept that, the Magician. And some of you in the past, bottom of the deck, Knight of Swords, this person very verbally abusive, combative, gaslighter, manipulative with their words. But some of you were just manifesting over and over again, and you're still currently doing it, hoping and praying that this person ends up being the divine counterpart you want them to be. You don't want to see that they're not that. You know, soulmates come in all shapes and sizes, and some of them are karmics. They're in our life for a reason. Learn a very hard lesson, which you apparently have learned or are in the process of learning. And some of them are soulmates that come in for a season, sometimes for a lifetime, sometimes for the duration. And some, you know, like I said, are for the rest of our lives. And this individual was or is a karmic connection. And you've been trying to manifest them into something that they're not. That's not their, or wasn't, if it's a past person. It wasn't their soul contract to come in as a beneficial soulmate to you in the sense of being in your life for a season or for the duration, and it's mutually exclusive, and there's a lot of reciprocity and love, and I benefit from you and you benefit from me. The benefit here was the hard karmic lesson you had to learn. Knight of Swords, Strength, Page of Wands, Eight of Cups. Maybe for some of you, you had to learn how strong and resilient you are to start over from this person. Maybe some of you had to learn that the way this person talks to you is not the way a soulmate should talk to you. Maybe for some of you, this goes back to a childhood wound in that Page of Wands. So this person came into your life to help heal some aspect of you, whether it was so you know your worth, encourage and strength so you can walk away or speak up for yourself, or to recognize what real love is and to heal that childhood wound. So yeah, in that respect, going back to that, I would forgive this person for the way they acted and see it, Hangman energy, which we don't have yet on the table, but kind of feeling it from a different perspective, that thank you so much. You are a really great effing teacher. You lived up to your soul contract. I learned what I had to learn. So forgive that person, because if you look at it that way, all they did was fulfill their soul contract to you. That's your path forward. 9 of Cups, King of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. That's the soulmate that's in it for the duration. They invest for the long run. They're solid and they're sturdy. And they're not wearing a plate of armor underneath their clothing. What you see is what you get. What the world sees is what you get. There's no hiding. 9 of Cups. The greatest act of love here is to let go of this, or if you already did, to really understand this person fulfilled their soul contract in your life, to accept it and to forgive them quietly to yourself, and to move towards your 10 of Cups. 9 plus the Ace is the 10. So if you've already left this behind, let's go back, revisit it, see it for what it was, forgive it, so it doesn't hinder this new soulmate that you either have in your life or is on path for you. And for others of you, you're still in this, and bless your heart for trying to manifest this person into a divine counterpart, but that's not their soul contract. You're being protected from this person. That's why the connection isn't growing, or there's third parties, or there's abuse, or your lesson is to have the quiet power to see it for what it is and to release it and to let it go. Let's get 3 cards of advice here. 3 of Cups wanted to show itself. Yeah, I feel like this was not really happy. And even if it was mediocrity. It wasn't a 10 of Cups. It was 3. So seeing it for what it truly was. It was happy, but not that happy. Not this happy. Seeing it for what it was. It was a limited time only. 3 cards of advice here. One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. Anne, thank you for that. 3 of Cups plus 2 is 5 of Cups. You will always, if you're staying in this, you will always be in emotional lack. It's not ever, ever meant to go to the 10 of Cups. I know, you just clicked off and unsubscribed. Oh, well. I'm not going to blow rainbows and unicorns up your butt to have a subscriber. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to tell you the truth for those of you still holding on to this. This is what's waiting for you. There's a need here for you to release control, see this person or people, you know, could be family for some of you, for who and what they are. Forgive them to yourself, quietly thank them for fulfilling their contract, and let's get back to living and rejoicing and being happy and meeting other soulmate, soul bond connections, because you have a pretty solid person here in your future, whether that's your ride or die best friend, or the friend who becomes family, or a solid life partner. That's the marrying king / queen of tarot. And stop trying to manifest this person into something they're not. It's not their role. Yeah, and if you've already let them go, I would thank them and forgive them to yourself and enjoy that new person, or get ready for that new person. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Your advice, my dear. The world. I think I had said in one of your readings a week or 2 ago, some of you are going to try doing this again. You can. You're going to get the same outcome. It's like repeating high school all over again. You could do it. You're not going to do another 4 years of high school and leave with a master's degree or a bachelor's degree. You're not going to learn anything new from doing this again. The high school will not become university. It will not become a trade school. It will not become a job. It will just be another 4 years of high school, of the same thing that you've already experienced. And then I had said for some of you, you graduated, you left this, but you're 1 credit shy of the happiness. And I'd said, we got to go, if you're in that group, we kind of have to go back, do a little summer school now, a little cleanup. Here's the cleanup. See that person or people for what they were, and thank them to yourself and forgive them because they fulfilled their contract. And now that you recognize that, you can move towards this person. Some of you already know him or her. For others of you, that person's on the way. But we need to officially close this out, whether you're timeline 1 or timeline 2. 2 of Wands, then we can move forward. Then we also take our control back. Because in this deck, the Emperor is holding the globe. She was calling the shots. Not on the new timeline. You hold the globe. You control where you go, the direction your life goes in. The direction of your life should have never been in the hands of this tyrant, but if we look at it from a soul growth perspective, then it was for that matter of time, because there was something we had to learn from that person. So take your future back from this person. If they're gone, release them and release their control on you. And if they're still in your life, I think you know what you have to do. Six of Cups. Because in that future, I'm telling you, is another soulmate, soul bond connection just waiting for you. Knight of Swords, Tower, Death. 15 seconds of insane courage. Accepting this past person or people and quietly forgiving them. 15 seconds of insane courage to do it. Leaving this person behind and ending the connection. 15 seconds of insane courage to do it. Take it from someone who did it. All you are doing is delaying that. That's all you're doing. This is never going to be that. I hate to be the one to tell you that. But most of the Piscean collective, they're already on that. That's why if you notice, I always get 2 messages for you. 80% of the collective has moved on. 20% of you holding on to the back of that damn Yugo. There's a gorgeous Mercedes waiting for you. Coming in fast. 8 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles. Choice is yours. Choice is yours. With that 2 of Swords card. That is what I have for you, Pisces. Wow, what a reading. What a way to wrap up all 12. I think you are ahead of the collective when it comes to understanding spiritual contracts and the reason why some didn't last. I don't ever receive that message for any of the other 11 zodiacs, yet I consistently receive it for you. And I think that's what, at the end of the day, makes you the High Priestess. That experience and those experiences gives you incredible knowledge that you and you alone carry. It's quite the burden. And yet, at the same time, a gift. Perhaps one day you'll share it with the rest of the zodiac, and they can move forward towards happiness as well. Bravo to you, Pisces. Very well done. Great reading. That is what I have for you, my dear. If you like those messages, they resonated with you, or maybe you found them to be helpful or hopeful, or gave you some guidance, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you good luck with this. And as always, I'm sending you light, love, and peace.